Gentile at Car West Leduc. Blink raising the cup in your hometown on your birthday. Feel it now at Car West Leduc. Experience a vast, uncompromising selection of top-quality used vehicles with no extra fees. Trucks, sedans, vans, SUVs, and more. Backed by family-run service and top dealer ratings on Google. So when the final siren goes, you go home with a deal you'll never forget. Car West Leduc, 6514 Sparrow Drive Leduc, or at carwestautosales.com.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Sports 1440. Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured. A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
And this one is high in the air to left. Tap is going back. It is gone. He got one he could handle, and he hit it into the bleachers. And all of a sudden, it is 8-5.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
The Edmonton Elks haven't started a season at 2-0 since Jason Moss was their head coach in 2019. Trying to get to 2-0 if they can get into the end zone. Taking the right. Touchdown. Edmonton wins.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Sol 692, Monday, June the 22nd. Man, hope you're building an ark right now because it's still coming down. About 3 straight days of rain in the City of Champions. Hopefully tomorrow or sometime this week we get some sun. It was nutso on the weekend. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial on your morning drive into work or wherever you're heading out on a Monday morning. Hope you had a fabulous weekend and maybe you stayed dry, maybe you didn't. If you were outside at any point over the course of basically Friday night till this morning, well, you didn't stay dry because she's wet. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We would really appreciate that. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. As always, we're streaming on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, and even sports1440.ca. If you miss any part of any show, well, you can find it where the many, many podcasts hang out on Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Please subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of any show. Yes, a hearty Monday. Good morning to you. As a pretty good weekend when you think about what was going on in the sporting world because a lot happened. The Double E picked up a massive win, 32-29 over the Montreal Alouettes to go 2-0 for the first time since 2019. The Oilers signed Jason Dickinson to a 5-year, $20 million contract. Local product Bobby McMahon signs with the Seattle Kraken. 6 years, $34.5 million. Big ones for Bobby M. And then Brady Tkachuk gets traded from Ottawa to Florida yesterday for a plethora of draft picks, 9 overall, 25 overall in 2026, another first rounder in 2029, a second rounder next year in 2027. He just wanted out of Ottawa. He was not going to re-sign in Ottawa, and now he is united with his brother, Matthew Ian FLA. And Wyndham Clark wins the U.S. Open. A really good finish after he had a bit of a lead, goes into the final round and takes care of business. Buck texts in, the Animals are pairing up in Beaumont. Yes, for the Arc. Let's welcome in our co-host on Mondays and Fridays, Eddie Steele. all-decade team for the Double E, Grey Cup champion in 2015, all-century team in U Sports history. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning, KK.
How was the weekend?
The weekend was wet, Kevin.
Was
the weekend
wet.
was
No
wet.
kidding.
I was-
So you had your camp on
Yeah,
Saturday?
out in Bonnieville. It was a good time. The camp itself was awesome. The kids worked really hard, but let me tell you, I don't miss those days of football, my adolescent days, just standing out in the rain, just eating it. Don't miss it.
Well, I'll tell you what. So we went to the game. Me and Big Baldy went to the game on Saturday. Luckily, well, I mean, there was only between 2,000 and 3,000 fans there. So we got to sit under the canopy on the east side of the stadium. So, you know, at least we were out of the rain. But for the people that braved that weather, man, kudos to you. But again, really extremely poor crowd. Obviously weather related, but yeah, between 2,000 and 3,000, it was not a good day for attendance at Commonwealth. And then Eddie, actually, we golfed yesterday in this weather.
You're
That's
mad.
I mean, insane. And so, yeah, out in the rain Saturday at Commonwealth, out in the rain Sunday at the ranch, and pneumonia today.
Yeah, I know. Can you hear it in my voice?
Yeah, both of us are like, oh, God.
Fighting it in the Steel household.
So, yes. Anyway, so camp was good, and big win for the double. I mean,
Huge.
so 2-0 for the first time since 2019.
Did what they needed to
Yeah.
do. And, you know, there was some fortunate calls, like to get that one referee where he said that the Elks were the last to touch it. Like to have that ruling on the field, that was huge, because had it gone the other way, game over. Huge ruling on the field.
Yeah. And I mean, Justin Rankin
Mm.
again, 179 yards on the ground, 51 through the air, 2 touchdowns, 230 combined yards. Simply amazing. Like, I mean, the guy is without question. If you can find me another player who's more electric in this league, I don't know who it is. It's not even close, but he was sensational again.
He's him. He is that dude.
I mean, he finds the holes, and then he's got, you know, okay, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but his acceleration.
He's
and
got that open field
whatever it
speed.
is, like what if it could be just that 1 or 2 steps, I don't know. But like you've seen way faster guys.
For
than
sure,
Justin.
burners, for
Yeah.
sure. But for his size, a guy who is ranked the tank,
Yeah.
who can truck you, he has that big open field speed. The thing about Rank's game, and we talked about it 2 weeks ago after their first win against Ottawa, he can make so many people miss in a phone booth. And
Mhm.
how many times do you see, oh, it looks like there's going to be a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, there might be just a 1-yard gain. Shuffles his feet, dances around, makes one miss. Oh, all of a sudden, 7-yard gain. Oh, all of a sudden, 30-yard gain. And let's not forget Cody Fajardo
Mhm.
in the effort that he put forward on some of these runs, the blocking. I'm getting
Yeah.
chills talking about it.
Yeah.
When you see a quarterback do anything, especially get involved in the physical work and go and lay a block, that just shows you that this team has guys in it willing to do whatever it takes to win games.
Well, even it's funny. I actually called the play, the winning touchdown. I said quarterback draw. I said this is going to happen.
And he kept it.
He kept it. I don't know if. Do you think it was a total quarterback draw or was it a read? And
I think no, it was probably a read.
Yeah.
There was probably, you could either give it to Rank or keep it, but
yeah.
Rank had been torching the defense so much. I think everybody knew that Rank would be getting it.
I was just going to say. So when
Fooled him.
when you have a guy like that, you know that if you give him the ball, he's going to do some damage. That gives you that ace in the hole in
Yeah.
your back pocket.
And that was a really good play call at that point in the game, because I'll be honest, Kevin, there was moments earlier in the game where I thought Jordan Maksimic, the offensive coordinator, telegraphed it a bit. And it was a little too obvious that they were going to be going to Rank because, you know, he was hitting those home runs.
Mhm.
The one that really stands out to me is on that muff punt when they got the ball deep in Montreal territory within the 10-yard line. They ran it twice. On that second play, I would have liked you to see them be more
More
aggressive
RPO
and
or
pass
something?
it.
Yeah.
Even just a pass. You're down on the 8-yard line, man. Let's get aggressive. Don't just hand the ball off.
Yeah, I
Let's
get
go
you.
for the jugular.
Text 833-401-1440. Our buddy MTR says, "Oh, you were so brave, Kevin, getting out in that rain on Saturday and Sunday. Wow." Well, hey, MTR, you're made of sugar, buddy.
Yeah,
You're made of sugar,
I'm
pal.
melting.
You would not even think about going out in those conditions.
The fact that you golfed is nuts.
It wasn't pleasant. It was not pleasant. Craig and Red Deer says, morning, guys. Any details on Dickinson's deal? Namely, does it contain any no movement? Yes, it does, Craig. For the first 2 seasons, it is full no move. So, like, full no move. No, can't be traded, sent to the minors, waived, et cetera, et cetera. Third year, it kicks in where there is a 16-team trade list, so half the league, which is okay. I mean, he's 30 years old.
Is it possible for the Oilers to do a deal without handing out a no move?
Hey, man, that's one of the things, though, that he goes, okay, I'll sign this. I'll give you a deal. Because at $4 million.
You think 4 is a deal?
I do, yeah.
For that player. He deserves more than 4.
No, I'm saying it's a fair contract.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an overpay.
Good. Yeah.
And it's not an under, like, I think it's just fair because, again, you got a guy, he's your third line center. And I don't think Jason Dickinson can get back or get ever to where he scored the 22 goals the one season in Chicago. If he puts up 15 and he's your third line checking center, that is a good contract.
And adds that grit.
And he's he's got to be healthy because, but he got some bad breaks.
I personally
tried to play through it too.
He did. You're right. Yeah. I know that the cap is going up. I thought it was a slight of a higher pay. You just look at the production. I'm so used to looking at the numbers and guys getting paid off production, and he doesn't have it the past couple of seasons. But hey, you do need some of those intangibles he brings.
Yeah. Bobby Tixon, good morning. Karius Eddie Company. I'll be honest, I had not watched any CFL games in a very long time, but I did tune in on Saturday. The stands were obviously empty due to the monsoon, but the game was pretty entertaining. When Montreal came back to tie it, I was rolling my eyes like, here we go again, but the Double E pulled it off. Congrats on a 2-0 start. Yeah, thanks for that text, Bobby. But yeah, there is. I thought they might lose the game.
Oh, I did too. I did. I thought it was toast because Montreal, they've done that the first 2 weeks through these comebacks, so they know how to win those games. That's a huge win for Edmonton for the fact you got to learn how to win. It doesn't just happen, Kevin.
No.
And to be in these tight games, that's a big learning block for the Double E.
Short week now, Thursday. We got the game in Winnipeg, so it's a short week, and obviously it'll be buzzing in the peg, so and a good measuring stick again.
And I'm not just rocking the Homer glasses, but there is real reason for optimism to think the Double E can go in and beat Winnipeg. It's not the same Winnipeg team that we've seen the past few years.
They can win this game.
There is absolutely reason they can win it.
They can win this game. 7:12 in Edmonton. Let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne on a Monday morning. Good morning, Duke. Big weekend for you on the couch, eh?
Morning, fellas. Yesterday was on the couch pretty much exclusively between watching golf, the weather outside, and then for those that are HBO fans, a new season of House of the Dragon, episode 1 came out last night. So a little mini marathon to catch up on a few episodes leading into that. After Saturday, where went bowling, went out for a nice steak dinner, watched the football game at the bowling alley and at the
5-pin
bar
or 10
there.
pin?
Just 5-pin.
He can't hold the ball.
What are you talking?
You can't hold the ball.
Well, wouldn't you think it'd be easier to hold the large? Because as opposed to if I had tiny little hands, not be able to palm even the 5-pin balls.
I'll be honest, I can't 10-pin bowl. My fingers, they're too jacked up and crooked.
Oh,
they don't go in.
Come on.
They don't go in.
He needs a custom ball where
I have to hold it on the outside, like
the holes are
palm it.
most
No,
split
you
out.
Yes, I do. I
This is
do.
insane.
Eddie,
I have to
stop
open
it.
fist it when I'm going 10-pin.
Yeah.
I can't put the fingers in.
Oh my
5
God.
pins for kids and
It
old
was
ladies.
it was 5-pin Plaza Bowl downtown there, right by Nate. Actually,
They
never
put the
been
bumpers up for you, Duke?
never been there before. Never been there before, but great time. Lots of beer flowing. Some dinner afterwards was excellent. There's a bar right next to Plaza Bowl. I literally cannot even remember the name of it. We just jumped in there, played some pool in between before our dinner reservation. We were the only ones in there. Great spot. Can't tell you the name of it, but it was a fun afternoon.
Well, we
The-
used
the
to
duck.
do
The
thing
duck. There you go.
playing like when we do 10-pin bowling. No, 5-pin bowling. Come on, dude. 10-pin. So the goal was to get 9 pins down. And then all the guys, there'd be 10, 15 guys. We had 3-4 lanes going. And every guy, as soon as someone got 9 pins down, you threw $5 in a pot. And if you made the spare, you got the pot. If you didn't make the spare, you paid the pot.
I like that.
Oh, dangerous.
You always got these crafty little games. What's the one we played golf in? The Wolf, Duke?
Wolf, yeah. Really fun game.
With the rules
Yeah.
that just continuously change every hole to favor you?
Come on.
Yes, all of a sudden when Kevin was solo wolf, it was worth 100 points. But if anybody else did, it was only worth 3, and so on and so forth. But that's just Kevin's way.
MTR says you can't palm the ball, Eddie. Thought you were an athlete.
I can't. That's the only way I do it is I palm it. I can't get the fingers in the hole. I got to open palm it.
You're probably taking the 12-pounder too, not the 50.
No, I can't take the big guy. Yeah, I got to take a medium size. No shame in it, man. No shame.
Oh, Eddie. Poor Eddie. Coming up on the big program, we got a busy show. Hey, got a congrats to David Schlemko, second place in the Ranch Golf and Country Club
Ching,
U.S.
ching,
Open pool.
Ching, ching.
But he's using a lot of that cash to buy our
About half of that's going to
Szechuan Castle.
Are we going to just cancel Fenny out, or are we
No.
going to go Fenny in order as well?
Fenny's got to
Okay,
step up
Fenny,
to the
you got to.
plate
We're
here.
on you first, buddy. On deck.
Get her going, Fenny. Come on now. Coming up on the big program, our usual Monday morning leadoff man, Alan Mitchell, will check in right after the break. You hear him daily here, 12 to 2 with the low down with low tide. Mark Spector in his 8 o'clock time slot. We'll talk about Dickinson, Bobby McCann, Brady Tkachuk. There are some thoughts about Connor Murphy close to being re-signed. We'll get Spec's thoughts on that. David Dwork from the Hockey News covers the Florida Panthers, so we'll bust down what they are doing. I mean, they still got to. I wonder, like Sergei Bobrovsky's asking for a lot of dough. Are they going to give it to him?
What's he asking? Over 12?
No. I think he's somewhere in the 7 mil.
Okay, so a pay cut from where he was.
Yeah, he was
because he was at 10.
But still, he's 37 years old. Yeah. It's a lot of cash for a 37-year-old goalie. Alex Adams covers the Ottawa Senators from Rogers Sportsnet. So, I mean, you got a lot of draft currency and capital back in this trade, but that's your captain, and, but he didn't want to sign, didn't want to resign long term. So that's just the way it goes there. And Allison Luke Seattle Kraken analyst. So we're fairly hockey heavy as the program continues on. When we come back, Alan Mitchell, the lowdown with Low Tide. You hear him daily from 12 till 2 on the Kevin Karius Show with Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text VALUE to 780-777-7777 to start. That's VALUE to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turn. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Wendy's 99-cent Frosty is back, and Frosty farmers couldn't be happier. Made with Canadian dairy, they grow up cool, creamy, and mighty thick. It's farm to Frosty. Get a small 99-cent Frosty until August 2nd. At participating Wendy's, taxes extra.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:20 in Edmonton, just awaiting the arrival of Alan Mitchell. It was a pretty good week in the CFL when you think about it, too. That was that double overtime game, Saskatchewan and Calgary. Eddie, Saskatchewan kind of eked one out there.
Yeah, they did. I would say, Kevin, this has been the best start to a CFL season that I can remember, and we're now just finished 3 weeks, and it has been exciting almost every single game.
Yeah, Toronto beat Ottawa 44-24 at the triple header. That was the first game on Saturday. And then, obviously, on Friday night, Hamilton over BC 41-27. BC's 0-2. So when you look at Hamilton, I mean, Hamilton and Montreal both 2-1 right now. So
yeah, they're battling it
they'll
out
be
for
those
the
two.
East.
They'll be the two teams.
Mind you, Chad Kelly, like, I'm not the biggest fan, but you cannot deny the numbers. He's thrown for 400 yards every game this year.
And then obviously the Riders won over Calgary 40-37. That was the later game. And here in Edmonton, 32-29. So you had two overtime games, one to double overtime. The Friday game was pretty high scoring when you think about it. Same with the Toronto-Ottawa game.
It was.
So, yeah, you might be onto something there, Eddie.
Yeah, a lot of points.
Yeah.
And again, not just blowouts. It's tight games down to the final whistle. And we're seeing teams like Edmonton, who had been struggling, now turning the corner.
Well, and the other thing, too, the first game that the Elks had this season, they had no turnovers. And that was a big thing, too. I mean, the Owls fumbled at 3 times?
Yeah, that was big.
In
the second half.
Three massive turnovers. They came late in the fourth quarter. Taylor Sneed dropped one. Mario Alfred coughed up on the punt return. That was big, too.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Doubly got points on each of those turnovers. How's Alan Mitchell coming in here, Duke? Is he MIA?
He's currently MIA.
Hit that snooze.
Oh, tight, eh?
Another one on us, huh?
Yeah. I can't believe when guys no-show on doing interviews on this.
It's hard to fathom, really.
It is hard to fathom, especially 7:20. Get up. Come on.
Still, someone said brought up when I no-showed Gregor's there about 3 weeks ago. I just went for a run, too. I was like, nothing.
It happens.
It's just...
Okay. You probably had an alarm set, too.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I was like, it was okay. Like Connor told me at like 2:30 or something. I don't even know. Yeah, no problem. And then next thing you know, I'm go for a run. I come back and there's like, 10 missed calls. I'm like,
I know that feeling.
What a terrible feeling.
Man, back when I was doing my thing with Ched in 2021, I'd do the pregame, halftime, and then postgame show. And some of the games were late, and I was calling in for a lot of them because COVID rules. It was still a little different, so I wasn't going into the booth all the time. There was a couple of post games where it's a late game. I fell asleep from my hit. I woke up to my phone in the morning, and I got all the missed calls from Morley and Dave trying to get a hold of me. It's 11 at night. Tired.
Yeah, I saw Cam Tate down in press box row. It's a small little press box in there now. Declan Kruger was
Declan,
down
of
there.
course.
Eddie, I know there was terrible weather, but you got to have more than a couple thousand fans.
Yeah, because again, we had this debate a few weeks back that if it was a Canada soccer game, it would probably be 40,000 strong in the weather.
The weather conditions were the same for the Canada soccer. Okay, and I know it's an event, but
Mhm.
you have to. This is your home opener. You got to treat this as an event. I felt bad for Dwayne Mandrusiak.
For sure.
He comes out at halftime and he was recognized, and we had a wonderful night. Went to Dwayne's house for
Post-game shenanigans,
beer and some snacks and whatever. And he was just in his glory. And like the Thompson family gave him the beautiful 50-year ring, as if he needs more of them.
I know. He doesn't have a finger for that one.
Well, I mean, he's got 11 championship rings. And the sons were there, and oh man, it was just so good to see.
You're right, though. It is unfortunate that a guy like that doesn't get to get recognized in front of more of a packed house.
Yeah.
So am I wrong then for just having this continue caveman mentality where if you win, people will come back? Like, am I wrong for this thought process?
Yes.
So what is it going to be?
I mean, this is still going to be a process to try to win fans back.
How about that article that Chris Morris had coming out yesterday, just in terms of the name change?
So, I mean, this is what I would do, and I told you before the show. Go back to the Eskimos. Just go back to the name. Go back to the Eskimos name and say, for all the people that are not coming out because of the name change, we need you back.
Yeah. And here we are. Go Full Metal Jacket. I'm with you.
What do you got to lose?
Exactly. Whose feelings are you going to hurt at this point?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, KK, I'm sound like a broken record. I've traveled across the province, Lloydminster to Jasper, Lac La Biche past south of Calgary, huge chunk of the territory. I haven't heard one person say they like it. People tolerate the name. It's fine, whatever. Nobody likes it.
Yeah.
Nobody likes it.
Yeah, I that's what I would do. Jane Victoria says, congratulations to the Elks. I really hope the next home game they get 25K plus. Well, let's worry about getting to 10 first here. And I mean, I think the season ticket base is around 9,000, 85 to 95, somewhere in there. I mean, there was just no one there. No one. You know what? Like you know when you walk on the concourse, like there was like
It's a ghost town.
You could see all the way down.
Well,
everywhere.
it's bad when you can, see the stands on TV and you can tell when it's just like there's 30 people maybe per section, like per entire, like A, B, C, D, all that, like per section.
Like, we would go in to the inside concourse, like where it's underneath, into the west and east side. They have the, where it's sort of like all the restaurants and food courts stuff. No one in there, not one person,
man.
Like nothing. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. I really don't know either. I know the weather, it's not the most enjoyable, but there is still that disconnect. And all I can say, maybe it's deeper than this, but all I can say is you keep showing up and keep winning games. Keep winning games.
Yeah. Big Dooley says, morning, guys. I used to work up in Nunavut. I specifically asked the people up there about the Eskimos Elks, and they just left it being a thing. It's only a slap in the face when you say it in a derogatory sense. Yeah, well, it was never, ever derogatory.
No, it wasn't.
Never. It was always with pride. And then, so again, you have Inuit people at center field every game.
Yeah.
You bring them in.
Celebrate the culture.
Yeah. It's not all. This isn't all on the name change. It's not all. It's one thing.
Yeah.
But again, the board of directors from whatever 2018 to 2024, 23, whatever you want to call it, they were piss poor. The presidents, the general manager in Sunderland, like in Preston, ran this team into the ground.
Ran it right into the ground.
And these guys like Chris Morris and Ed Hervey, they have so much work to do still. Like, I mean, and I'm sorry, like you say, you've been saying a lot. They win, their fans are going to come back. I don't know. I still don't. I'm not on that.
You nailed it in terms of they have a lot of work to do ahead of themselves, which they are doing, right? And they are doing the right things. Now, winning follows that. and it's not going to just happen overnight. It's a big ship turning.
Yeah.
Doesn't turn on a dime, but it is starting to turn north.
You know, the one thing that I noticed, and we've got a text right now, just former season ticket holder, my teenage kids have zero interest in the CFL. It's not about winning, it's about entertainment value. It's not entertaining enough. Okay, fair. On Saturday, there were, I'd say half the crowd were young kids, generation, like 18 to 25. I looked, because I mean, it was easy to see. You looked in the stands, and there was just as many young fans as there were older fans.
That's good. And I'll push back on that. The CFL, maybe to his youngsters, the CFL is not exciting, but we just talked about it. This is the most exciting start the CFL has had in a long time. You go online and look at any pundit, they're raving about how good the CFL is right now.
They still need the game presentation to be better. I said, how many times? This is about the 100th time. Go to Jasper Place High School. It's the best music program in town. You hire the music director there. You get 10 kids from every high school, and you get a band, the Edmonton Elks band, for 300 kids. And you put them in the end zone, and you let them play like they do at college games.
Oh, and then 300 kids, all of a sudden you have 600 parents coming to watch the game.
That's right. Now, and then, give the kids a couple tickets each, whatever.
Exactly.
And the parents come, and at least you get some concessions. But this is 20 years I've been saying this, to do that.
When's their next home game here? I got
July 9th.
July 9th? Is that a Saturday?
I think it's a Thursday, to be honest
with you.
Thursday.
Go and take care of business in Winnipeg, and I'll see you down at Commonwealth next Thursday. Especially if we have some sun. If there's sun, I think that for the first home game, people will be busting at the seams just because we're tired of the rain.
Yeah.
Like as Edmontonians, we're just getting pelted right now. So people are starving for something to do.
So it's a Thursday night game, July 9th. That's the other bad thing here. Like, you think about it. You've got one home game almost till the middle of July here. So you start out on the road. You've got 2 road games here this Thursday, and then Saturday, July 4th, you go to BC. So it's another quick turnaround from Saturday to Thursday, July 9th, just 5 days, really. Similar to what they've got this week here. So
I'd buy a Justin Rankin jersey. He gives you something to want to come out and see. So if anything, you'll be entertained coming out and watching number 5 play for the Double E. He's gonna be up there for MOP.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. IMAX says we went to Boston Pizza Saturday for an early dinner. Didn't know the game was on. Well, our 11-year-old twins, which played flag football last year, were so interested in watching the game, my wife and I had to switch sides in the booth. Maybe like baseball will have a surge. Ours clearly created from playing.
Thanks for the text, IMAC. But come on, how are you going to not know the games on? We talk about it all the time. It's pretty easy to know there's a CFL game on. That you can't throw shade at the league. Oh, we didn't know there's a game. No, we broadcast it all the time. You know if there's a game. Can't say that.
BC Oilers says when the crowds are that small, ruins the TV experience too, for sure. I mean, you know what the TV, what the producers do. They don't show. They can't try to keep
that angle down.
Yeah, if it's a high punt, they just sort of let it go out of
show
frame.
the field.
Let it go out of frame. Most exciting start, but attendance is down. Should tell you something. I don't have a name on this texter. Send us your name if you got that. League won't exist in 10 to 15 years. Well, here's the thing.
There's TV money. Yes, it will.
Yeah, it will always. The league will always be there. You can't kill this league.
You can't. It's a cockroach. And you know what? This fires me up because sure, attendance is down. The league is healthier than it's ever been. Montreal and BC aren't bleeding money. The salary cap is going up. The league, you can say all you want to poo-poo it, but the league is actually doing as best as it's ever been since I've even started watching early 2000s.
Tim says, text in, the attendance issues have nothing to do with the name change. Naming a sports team around a people is not something you can do. I disagree with you, Tim. Sorry. Even if it's not intended derogatory, you just don't do it. Make the games more entertaining. Well, the game is entertaining.
How do you
Tim.
make it more entertaining?
The game is the on-field product is entertaining. You cannot. The game experience
there.
You can make more entertaining. But again, this isn't the name change. It's not the only thing. It's one thing.
It's one of them.
It's one of the things.
It's the biggest domino. It's the biggest domino.
It's one thing, Eddie. I don't think it's like, again,
You mentioned around 2018-19, and then you talked about the turnover of all the presidents and stuff. It started even before that. We won the Grey Cup. Then into 2016.
Next year was okay.
It was okay in 2016, but that's when Ed Hervey and then President Len Rhodes, they didn't see eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
Ed was let go.
Yep.
That's when it really began. And that's when Len came out and said, pro football is more than just about winning games. And that's when the erosion started. And you got rid of Ed. That's when it all went down.
I
got
agree.
rid of Ed Hervey.
Yeah. Right after the following year after you guys won.
Exactly.
In 2015. And then, I mean, listen, COVID hurt everything. But look at other teams across the league. It hasn't hurt them like the here.
No.
The amount of money that was hemorrhaging here was insane. And then stupid little thing like in 2019, 2020, Dwayne Mandrusic, you're gone. Like, you can't do that.
No.
You can't run a franchise like that. So they're still trying to fix things here from
even in the business, they just shredded corporate partnerships, right?
Yeah.
So Chris Morris is now having to try and rekindle those relationships. They did everything wrong for that 5-6 year window.
Yeah. IMAX says, I didn't know the start time was so early. He was going to watch it at home. So, and again, like a little thing like on that Saturday night, that should have been an 8 o'clock start. There should have been a game in Alberta, either the game in Calgary or the game here at 8 p.m.
I didn't like the triple header personally, but beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
I know we got some good action on Thursday, though. There'll be some good entertainment Thursday night, baby.
Hey, Duke, how's Low Tide? He's just snoozing.
He's MIA.
Oh, he's gone. So we talked through this one.
He's MIA.
Okay, we haven't even touched on this. What are your thoughts on Tkachuk, man?
Well, again, so he didn't want to, he was never going to, it was like Quinn Hughes. He was never going to sign another contract. Just like Hughes said, I'm not signing in Vancouver.
He did it the noble thing, at least, and let them know. Didn't just screw them.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, there were some other teams, I think, that were sniffing around him, but Florida's got the one thing that the other teams don't, and that's his brother. So
the way that it's quite something how we're seeing the evolution of real player control in the NHL. To come out and demand, I want to go to 4 teams, and what were the 2 of them with no state tax? Like,
we're seeing it more. Like, I mean, the NHL is getting closer and closer to where, like, the NBA has been doing this for a while now.
Yeah,
where players go, I want to play here, I want to do that, and that's the simple fact that there's never been a time in sports where players want to dictate their future. They're not saying, they're not taking, I'm drafted by this team and they have my right. No. It's I'll go wherever I want to go.
Times have changed.
And that's the simple fact.
I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. I'm a little old school, and I don't like how these guys can just call their shots and you can stack teams. And like, you give a list of 4 teams. Sure, Brady, you're a good player, but a list of 4 teams and they're all top caliber teams. You just pigeonhole your GM and think, man, I don't like how you can just pull that.
Matt and Leduc says they keep saying they need more tickets sold, but they won't lower prices with economic pressures and the way the orders suck up so much money. A lot of people don't have $400 to take a family afford to a game. It's $20 to get in, man.
$400 to go.
It's $20. You can get a ticket for the Double E for $20.
And they're going to hate me for saying this, but you can get a ticket for $20 and certainly just move on down to a better seat. That's just the reality.
Well, you could do anything you wanted.
I remember last year when I went up top, when they weren't supposed to have the upper bowl open, and I'm taking photos with my family up there.
Well, that's another thing. I would have the one section open up top. Just the one. So if you want to buy a season ticket up there on the 50-yard line,
there's the option.
You can, and it's not a big deal.
It isn't a big deal.
So that's another thing that we would do. But we'll take a break and see what Low Tide's up to. Maybe I'll give him a call personally, Duke. See what think he'll answer? No, he's not answering. When we come back, we'll get to more of your texts. 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Looking for a truck that can handle anything Alberta throws your way? Wolf GMC Buick has the offers to get you behind the wheel. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Plus, trade in an eligible 2015 or newer pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Ask about bonus offers for heroes, students, recent graduates, and more. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you've covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of electrician school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Summer weekends in Alberta mean one thing: tournament season.
I brought the folding chairs. I brought the sunscreen. I brought the umbrella, just in case.
But who brought the snacks to get through a doubleheader?
I got Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the ultimate sideline fuel. Whether you're cheering on the kids or watching the pros, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
Canada's men's rugby team at Clark Stadium. July 4th, Canada takes on Spain. July 11th, a doubleheader as Canada battles Portugal and Tonga faces Spain. Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:43 in Edmonton, and time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And in Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing, your vehicle. From tires and wheels to oil changes, vehicle repairs, we got you covered. Visit fountaintire.com to book your appointment today as we welcome in Alan Mitchell. You hear him daily, the lowdown with Low Tide, 12 to 2, right out of the fart sack on the air. Morning, Tide.
How are you? I slept in. I'm sorry. I rarely do, but
oh, worries.
Oh, you did? We didn't know.
Oh, my God. You know what? And like if the Oilers made a big trade 10 minutes ago, I don't know about it. So
Tide, it sounds like you got sleepies in the eyes still.
I've had a drink of water, and I because I'm my age, I went to the bathroom, and that's it, baby.
That's it, baby. That's it. Well, it was a busy weekend. Did you venture out? Because if you did, you probably, it's good weather if you were a Duck this weekend.
Yeah, well, I went to my mother-in-law's place because she's just a great cook, and she made Father's Day brisket, and it was so good. Honest to God, you guys. I mean, maybe I had too much, and there's tryptophan in that stuff. I don't know, but that was pretty much the highlight. Although the sports was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean the golf was great. We saw some pretty good soccer games too. Canada takes on the Swiss on Wednesday. So, the World Cup has been very entertaining. I mean, the Double E on Saturday afternoon. Did you get some eyeballs on that game?
Yeah, for sure. And I have to say that I picked them to win on faith a little bit, but I just feel like this team, there's a lot about this team. There's a certain urgency I think you can get in an organization that's beyond what would be normal, and what maybe we could call it adrenaline. But if you look at the last few years of this team, there's a group that are never going to love the Elks again because they're not the Eskimos. And then there's a group that hated the clear bag and hated the downside and hated the losing. And you can get them back, but you've got to win football games. And so I think the program, just needs to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, and they're doing it now. Very proud of them. I mean, honest to God, this is a group of people who were given a Herculean task. It's sort of like, when the Eskimos were so poor in the late 60s, early 70s, and they finally came out of it, and then they were dominant when Hugh Campbell arrived. It's sort of like that, where you've got, not only do you have great, turmoil, but you've got great opportunity. Well, these folks who are here now are taking advantage of a great opportunity, and I love seeing it.
Low Tide, how fun is it watching number 5 Justin Rankin for the Double E play football?
It's fantastic. Look, this guy is like, I don't know if he's going to have 4,800 yards like he's on pace for right now. But what he does, it's funny because there are players like this who show up and they can beat you several different ways, running out of the backfield, but also receiving, and just a playmaker, just a guy who is it's a big key. If you look at Grey Cup winners, they often have a game breaker out of the backfield, and this guy is it. He's exciting, and these are not fluky yards. This is a guy who can run and duke and really make some moves. And I'll tell you what, I love watching him, and he's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, he's simply amazing. And again, we were talking about how many yards he could pick up this year if he's obviously healthy, and usage and how much. And Eddie's going man, this guy could get a couple thousand yards here, all purpose in the sense of both through the air and on the ground here.
Yeah, he's a modern, he can run really well, but he can also run through, and that's the thing. You have to have both. I love him as a player. I don't know. Have to look at at what point in time you if he gets tired or whatever, or God forbid hurt. But I just think that he's getting opportunity, sure, but he's taking maximum advantage of it, and it's great to see.
Is he ever? Alan Mitchell with us on the Kevin Karius Show with Eddie Steele on Sports 1440. Jason Dickinson signs with the Oilers, tied 5 years, $20 million, so a pretty decent AAV, and basically you've got your third line center locked up long term here. Yeah,
the AAV is fine. We were talking $5 million. It's less than that. The term is too long, and people can say it isn't, but it is. But here's the deal: you have a window to win the Stanley Cup. You have a third line center who's a really good penalty killer, which was a problem a year ago. The only thing I'm going to say, aside from the term, which is a year too long, is that they have to use him right. This is a guy who, he is number one, he's a great penalty killer, but number two, he could take own zone faceoffs and play against the tough competition not all the time, but he could give at home. He could give a little bit of relief to McDavid and Draisaitl in their lines by, taking an own zone face-off against the top line. He didn't do that a year ago in Edmonton. He did in Chicago. He played big minutes in Chicago. And I think that the coach is going to have to use him a little differently to make him as valuable as I think he can be. You've got to use him in those spots, those zone faceoffs, and then you can use your big gunners in the offensive zone or on the fly changes. And Chris Knobloch really didn't use, I don't think, Jason Dickinson the way he should have been used. And maybe it was because he was hurt. That's an unfair criticism. Yeah. But Dickinson is a guy I think that fans, I read somewhere fans are a little disappointed. I think when you see what he can do, you're going to be impressed. He played like, I think it was 46% or something like that against the league competition in Chicago. He played the tough minutes, and he played them well. So giddy up, if they use him that way, then he is definitely worth the money.
Lowtide, I'm curious. I like the player, like the signing, good number, like you mentioned. But is it possible for the Oilers to sign someone to a contract and not give them a no move? Like, why do they have to have more no moves on their roster than anybody across the league?
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I think that it's a bad habit, and it also just limits you so much in what you can do. I'll say this, that we'll see about what happens here this summer with Darnell Nurse, but nobody can argue that these no movement clauses have not. Well, that's a lot of negatives. Let me rephrase. Those no movement clauses have reduced the opportunity for this team to wheel and then to win, because you've got so much dead weight on your roster, or so many overplayed players who aren't going to move. They're all just waiting for McDavid to win the cup. And it has hampered them. And I think that you can only blame the general managers. That goes back to Chiarelli and Holland and now Stan Bowman. So it's an extreme limitation. It's fair to criticize and, stop it, damn it. But they keep rolling.
Yeah. At least it's only 2 years, for no movement. And then it kicks in year 3 where half the teams are available.
They'll be able to move them after the second year. I mean, that's one thing you make a great point, Kevin. Yeah.
And again, at that point, with the cap going up in probably year 3 by, whatever it's going to be quite a team-friendly contract at $4 million per season. What did you make of the Brady Tkachuk deal, Tide?
Well, it's funny because I said right after the Olympics, I said he's not coming back to Ottawa next year. There's something that's happened there, and I look, I'm not going to get into it, but the atmosphere in America is different now, and I just think that there's a impact that it'll have on hockey and certainly on Canadian hockey teams, where there's a sense of I want to play at home. We see this in the NBA a lot, where teams if players decide where they're going to go, and then they go as a group and they impact. I know that there's a lot of people out there who might feel like, oh, this is awful for the league and Florida's going to win again. I'm just going to tell you now, this is officially an old team now, and I'm not saying they're not good, but they're going to be injured, and they're not going to have the years that they had before. I don't know how many people are on that team are 30 or over, but it's a lot, guys. It might be half the team, and no disrespect to any of them, but Brady Tkachuk isn't Leon Draisaitl, and there's a difference there in terms of quality. They're an old team, and I still think Carolina has the best mousetrap in the business, where Florida has a bunch of old superstars. They're a cranky bunch. When they start losing, it's going to be ugly there. It just is. So they might win another Stanley Cup. I'm not saying they won't, but I think they've doomed themselves here, because the window is still open, and they made a trade that helps them today and this year. But my goodness, they're carrying a lot of age on their important players.
Yeah. And I absolutely love how you brought up Carolina, because just do yourself a favor, all you listeners, take a peek, go online and look at what their cap situation look like and how their contract structures are. And you just see how well-rounded they are. Sure, they've been known to nickel and dime, but they are in a good place moving forward, aren't they, Lowtide?
They are. And they don't move, I got news for you. Every NHL owner is the cheapest guy you'd ever know. They just are. They don't spend anything that they don't have to. Carolina is an example of it all the way up to the players, and they rarely misspend any funds. They just do. But they're efficient. They really just refuse to overspend. And because of that, I think Kotkaniemi is the only bad contract on the roster. They just don't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Hey, Tide, thanks for checking in this morning. Really appreciate it. Do you know what's coming up on your show today?
Well, we'll obviously talk to Jason Greger. I want to talk about the Elks for sure, because I just think that's such a big story in our city. The Dickinson trade, we'll talk about that too. And then, the impact of the World Cup about how it's, some part of it's being played in Canada, this Canadian team. That was such a big victory, such a wonderful moment. And I think we're going to spend a little bit of time on that as well.
Good stuff. Have a great show, Tide. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
All right, boys. Sorry I was late.
No worries. Alan Mitchell. Yeah, you hear him daily, 12 to 2 right here on Sports 1440. And the Puck Report brought to you by Fountain Tire. We focus on one thing, and that is your vehicle. Check them out at fountaintire.com. When we come back, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet will slide in at the top of the hour. Before that, time now for Sports 1440 update, brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting. That's All-Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Blockbuster trade going down yesterday in the NHL as Ottawa Senators sending captain Brady Tkachuk to Florida to team up with his brother Matthew on the Panthers. Headed back the other way in the deals, a collection of draft picks, including number 9 and 25 overall in this upcoming entry draft, 2027 second rounder, and a 2029 conditional first round pick. Edmonton Oilers also making their first official move of the offseason, and they've extended forward Jason Dickinson with a 5-year deal coming in an AAV of $4 million. The deal does also include trade protection in the first 3 years and then a modified trade protection in years 4 and 5. Seattle Kraken taking advantage of Florida's changing situation and acquire pending RFA Mackie Samoskevich in a deal for the 25th overall pick in the upcoming draft and a conditional second rounder next season. Samoskevich broke out 12 goals, had 32 points in 77 games this past season. And the Kraken also extending local product Bobby McMahon with a 6-year deal that'll carry a cap at $5.75 million. McMahon finished last season after being with Seattle after being acquired from Toronto at the deadline. World Cup action yesterday. Spain defeated Saudi Arabia 4-0. Belgium and Iran drew zeros in full time. Uruguay and Cabo Verde, another surprise result for the Green Cape as they tied 2-2. And the nightcap, Egypt gets a goal from star player Mo Salah. They defeat New Zealand 3-1. Blue Jays game rained out for the finale at Wrigley yesterday. They'll make that up later on in the summer. But elsewhere, the Yankees fell to Cincinnati 4-1. Tampa gets past Washington 4-3. And the Seattle Mariners top Boston 3-1. Edmonton Riverhawks down in Corvallis last night beat the Knights 8-0. And U.S. Open final round. Wyndham Clark finishes off the wire-to-wire leading. Checks in with a +3 score in round 4, but good for 4 under in his second U.S. Open championship. Coming up in hour 2, the Kevin Karius Show will be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8 o'clock in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you here on a Monday morning. So glad you can spend some time with us here on Sports 1440. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. The June road trip is humming along right now. It's the biggest sale of the year right now, too. You can enter for a chance to win free gas for the summer, weekly prizes like detail packages, free tires, $20 multi-point vehicle inspections to get you road trip ready. Check them out at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec. How was the weekend?
Hey, boys. Anything happen this weekend?
Busy, man, wasn't it, eh?
Oh, boy.
Lots going on.
Mm-hmm.
Lots going on.
I can tell you it rained.
Did you leave your cabin, Spec? Did you leave?
No, I stayed. I did. I was in the city Saturday for a bit, but lots of rain for sure, just like everywhere else. When you have an old place, you got to stay close to it when it's raining that much because stuff tends to go wrong. So
you got a sump pump out there, Spec?
Oh yeah, I got a pump out here for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So does. I mean, when you live, like I'm not on the lake, but when you're near a lake, the water table is always really, really, really high. Like you dig a fence post and you can hit the water table lots of times. So when it rains this much, there's lots of water everywhere, man.
When have you dug a fence post?
Like a fence post.
Oh, you lie like a rug, Spec.
It's not that hard.
You could just see Spec with one of those.
Didn't help the crowd much in the Elks game the other day, but the team gave a good football game.
Yeah, I was entertaining. I was there, Spec. I mean, maybe 2,500 fans. Maybe.
Did you watch the game on TV, Spec?
I did. I watched the game. Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
They I thought like usually what gets you in a rainy day like that is mistakes, right? It's fumbles, it's penalties. And I thought for the most part, they were, no one's mistake free, right? The Montreal returner dropped a huge fumble on a punt.
Yeah.
Rankin drops one at the end of the game, could have cost you the game. And it was just the luck of the draw that you end up keeping that ball and winning. But generally not that many penalties and, not a ton of turnovers. I thought they played, they kept themselves in that game all the way in. They never played themselves out of that game. And in the end, they had a chance to win it and they did. And good for them.
Yeah. My question to you is Edmonton's doing what they have to do. It's still early in their process of I guess, buying back, reestablishing the trust of the fan base. And I know that the weather didn't help why it was such small numbers out at the game. But I wanted to pose this to both of you. During the decade of darkness, what were the crowds like for the Oilers when they were winning 10 to 20 games a season? Were the crowds super thin the way Edmonton has turned out to be, the Elks, or were they still fairly healthy?
Not as thin, but really thin. You know, you had a building that held basically 17,000 people, and there was a lot of 11,000 people nights in there, I would say to you, which, you know, by hockey standards is, I mean, you're not getting down to 2,000 because I don't know, they just didn't. I guess they just have more season ticket holders, but it took a hit and you could see it. Kev, you were at those games.
Yeah, but it was probably worse spec from 94 to 97, right?
Was it? I mean, it was.
Yeah. I think it was, right at that time because, everyone was pissed off at Puck. And then, the thoughts of the sale to, the guy in Houston. And then when EIG took it over, that's when they got it back because those guys worked their backsides off, man. Think about all the stuff they did spec, like the copper jackets and everything. And, they really, really battled back. So I think it was less crowds from like I say, 93 to 97 when the team was sold.
Yeah. But it is doable to bounce back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's doable. The Elks can bounce back. It's more difficult. There's less of a. I mean, first of all, we get back to the Eskimo question. I know people are out there saying, "Oh, it's all about losing. It's all about losing." Well, it's kind of hand in hand for me. Like people just don't have they had an allegiance to the Eskimos that they don't have to the Elks. Mm-hmm. And I know it's just a name, but that's just how sports works. They have to win. They just like the Oilers can afford to lose a little and keep a proper fan base and still make a profit. The Elks can't afford to lose as much as they've lost and do the same thing. They just have to win. It's a more fragile market in the summer. There's only one game a week. Like the Oilers get 4 games a week and they don't have to worry about the weather. The Elks get 1 game every 2 weeks. And if it rains, they're screwed. Right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a more fragile deal when you're a football team trying to play in the summer in Canada. Guys like me go to the lake. If it's a bad day, we're not coming in. So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough market, man. Tough business. Look around the league. How'd Calgary draw this weekend, Eddie?
Not well.
Nothing. Yeah. Not Calgary's dying on the vine, man.
Yeah,
and that's an excellent market for football, and it hasn't been good now for a few years. So it's, it's rough.
It's rough, but you keep doing the right things, which I think this organization is doing. Again, the relationships within the business community, the winning on the field. And I like that we're not shying away from this. There was a nice article out about Chris Morris and how the name change, derailed them. And the reality is, and I'm hearing more traction around this, I don't know if it's ever going to come to fruition, but the name change, you can discuss it however you want, but it impacted people. You just said it yourself, Spec. The name change, it alienated people. And I'm tired of being called a bigot and, thinking I'm a racist because I understood the importance of what the Eskimo name meant. And it's funny, in all the speaking engagements that I do, I have a little joke that I tell people right off the jump. And I tell people, I identify in this day and age where we're all identifying as something. I identify as an Eskimo, not an elk. And I can't tell you the round of applause that I get from people when I say that line. People love the name Eskimo. They don't love the name elk.
Yeah. And we can, I think it's 2 separate conversations, for the conversation of should you have changed your name? And let's talk about the feeling of the Inuit people and all that stuff. That's one conversation. Mm-hmm. The second conversation is, did changing the name hurt the brand and the team? It's not the same conversation. There is absolutely no doubt that changing the brand hurt the team. Mm-hmm. I mean, you lose a certain amount of fans, that costs you money. Now in CFL, you don't have much money to start with. You lose your alumni, which they did. Mm-hmm. In the name change, you lose tons of support, community support, and in the end, money, business opportunities. People, you end up changing out your front office. Now the people out there who would normally apply for the job look at the Edmonton football team and go, that place is a mess. I ain't going there. So you end up hiring the B and C people from around the football world to take all those jobs that used to be held by A people.
Yeah.
And now your business isn't run as well as it used to be run. So yes, they lost, and yes, that hurt too. But it was hand in hand. Like changing that name. I would argue with you that the Edmonton Eskimos football name and team and brand is a top 5, for sure, top 5, maybe a top 3 or 4 name in Canadian sports history, right? Only the Habs won 5 in a row, and the Eskimos won 5 in a row. The Eskimos ruled the 50s when they won 3 in a row. The Eskimos have more in the last 45 years or whatever since their inception, for 55 years, more Grey Cups than any team in the country. So you threw away a brand that was one of the great brands in Canadian football. You can't tell me that doesn't hurt. In Canadian sports, right? In Canadian sports, they've had more success since 67 than the Toronto Maple Leafs times 50.
Yeah.
And you chucked it in the garbage. Don't tell me that you just did that and it didn't matter. That's just people who say that don't understand sports. They haven't been around sports.
Mm-hmm. Mark Spector with us on Sports 1440. What did you make of the Oilers signing Jason Dickinson to the 5-year, $20 million contract?
Yeah, I think, everyone rips apart contracts the minute they see them. And listen, you want a good third line centerman, and he is one. It's $4 million. That's what you pay. You could get a way lesser one for 3 or 2.5, sure. But you want a good one, they cost 4. Last 2 years of its deal, if you decide that it's time to move him along, it's easy to move along a $4 million contract, especially with the cap going up. So, yeah, I really like it. I liked him. I think the Oilers are a better team when it goes McDavid, Draisaitl, Dickinson, and let's say Szymanski. I think if you got those 4 guys down the middle, Kev, on 90% of the nights or probably more, you are better down the middle than your opponent, whoever your opponent is, right?
Do you think he's can he get to 15 goals?
Well, let's see. He's been about a 25.
He's a 10-er, right? You know what I mean? He got 22 to 1.
He's never scored much.
Yeah.
I don't care about that here. Yeah. Like, scoring here isn't that big a deal. It's defending. This team has to get their head around the fact that it's not about, can that guy score? I want Connor Murphy and Dickinson on this team because they both defend and they both make it harder to get scored on. Mm-hmm. So, sure, can he get you 30 points and 10 goals, 12, 13 goals maybe? Sure, why not?
Spec, with the blockbuster move yesterday, you have Brady Tkachuk going to Florida, traded to Florida, lots of picks involved, joining his brother Matthew. I want to get your opinion, not only just on the trade, but Brady's legacy leaving Ottawa now.
Well, what's his legacy? They're not much of a legacy. They never accomplished anything while he was there, right?
How long was he there? 8 years? Captain for multiple years?
I haven't counted, but they drafted him, and he's now what?
Nothing left behind but shrapnel.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, this isn't me taking a shot at Ottawa, but I don't think anyone could say there's some great legacy there. They've not, this year they made the playoffs and lost in 4 games. So, they're an okay team. They never really took the strides that people hoped that they would take in Ottawa, and now their best player got sent out, and
played 10 playoff games, Spec. That's it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, legacy. There's no legacy there. They tried and didn't get much done, unfortunately. Listen, if Brady Tkachuk wants to play somewhere else, that's his right. Like, if I want to work on a different radio station, I phone Jason Greger and say, Jason, I want to work at a different radio station. It's my right. And it's his right to, I know they got contracts and all that stuff, but it makes me question whether I'd go to the draft as a Canadian team and spend a high pick on an American player right now. That's a fair question to ask. But if Brady Tkachuk, after playing all these years in Ottawa, wants to go play in the States, who are we to tell him he can't do that?
You're right, Spec. It is absolutely you're right, but we're gonna Kelly McCrimmon you ain't going nowhere, pal.
It's okay. No one else would take me.
That's good. Hey, even Bobby McCann, local guy, signs a 6-year deal, $34.5 million, 5.75 AAV. So he hits the jackpot. He had a hell of a season last year, and he's getting rewarded for that. But I wonder how high demand he would have been across the league if he would have hit July 1.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You know, he's a nice player. He's got size. He's got speed. He's proven he was good with Matthews. I mean, that's the one thing that goes on his resume for me is everyone in Toronto says he worked well with Matthews. He can obviously play with good players. So, you know, I'm keeping him. Listen, Seattle's got to get something done here. Like, Seattle can't let a good player walk. They're Ottawa-like.
Mhm.
They're banging away at the rock, and it ain't chipping very much. So, you know, good for Bobby. He's a nice guy. He's from here. He's hits a big payday. He's a nice player. We get to see him more now in Edmonton. That's all of those things are good, but I'm not at all surprised that Seattle stood up and said, "Wait a second, we can't let this guy get away."
Frank Saravalli just reporting too while we were doing this interview, Spec, that Andre Tourigny and the Utah Mammoth have announced a multi-year extension for him to stay in Utah. He was entering the final year of his deal. Also, Adam Foote is joining the coaching staff there from Vancouver.
Yeah, good. And speaking of coaches, we still expect. I expect a coaching press conference tomorrow. Is what I expect. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. So stuff can change, but I expect it tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, and
must listen. That is must listen, must watch TV.
Yeah, do we carry those things live?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it will be. I mean, depends on the time, obviously. I'm assuming. Do you think it'd be like probably like an 11 o'clocker or 10 o'clock?
Yeah, 11 or something like that. Sure.
Yeah. We'd just dust off Fantasy Frenzy in the 11 o'clock hour. Eh?
Who needs those guys anyway?
Maybe do a deeper dive during that show.
Yeah, we'll save it. Do a deeper dive, yeah.
Oh man, deeper dive. What's on the go for you this week, Spec? Besides that news conference when it is indeed announced.
Well, lots going on here. I think Connor Murphy's going to sign here as well. The Darnell Nurse trade is hanging out there. There's a coach coming to town. I mean, is that not enough for you, Kevin? You need more in a week in June, or
what are you thinking for Nurse? Like, I mean, we got the draft on Friday here, Spec. So, I mean,
yeah, I think that. I mean, I don't know. You know, you don't know the package. Is there draft picks on Friday that are going to be part of this package? I don't think the Oilers are really after draft picks. I know they're not.
Yeah,
but sometimes that's what it takes to facilitate a trade. So generally, the draft. You know, we all know the draft is a bit of a deadline for everybody. You want to get certain business done before the draft. You'd rather not do it after. All the GMs are talking right now. There's a lot of conversation. So I would tell you, if you can't get this Nurse trade done this week, I'd be a little concerned. I think it's been out there for a while now. Everybody knows Nurse is on the market. Everybody's had their chance to make their offer, make a counter offer. This thing shouldn't take much longer than this week, don't you think?
I would think not. But here's another thing too, Spec, and you've brought this up. We've brought it up how poorly the Oilers have executed on July 1. We're 10 days away. Next Wednesday is July 1. Do you think that they're going to be busy? Do you think they'll make any signing? Would they try to entertain, picking up a free agent on July 1 here?
Well, that would be the other deadline on the Nurse trade is, I mean, they have about $10.5 million right now and only 18 players signed. And if they sign Connor Murphy, they're going to be down to, I mean, he's going to make $4 million for sure. So you're down to 8.5 for 19 guys signed. So the cap space, there's a great possibility that you will gain some cap space in the Nurse trade. That's certainly the intention of the Oilers, trading a $9.25 million defenseman. So that tells me I got to have that done by July 1st for sure, right? So I can take that cap space to the market. So let's see. Let's see. That's a linchpin, man. That Nurse cap space is going to dictate what Stan Bowman can do on July 1st. So that's just another reason why he's got to close that deal here.
I wonder if they would entertain Brett Kulak again. You think?
Well, what I hear on Brett Kulak is that they would entertain him absolutely. Brett Kulak, and this isn't. I'm just reporting. This isn't opinion. Brett Kulak and his agent have decided that everyone uses me as a number 4 defenseman, and I play a lot when it counts, and I need to get paid like a number 4 defenseman. And he's in the market right now looking for second pairing money, and good for him. And I hope he gets it. I don't think he's going to get that here in Edmonton.
Yeah,
You know,
because he's
if
probably looking
Brett-
at 4-ish, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I would think now you're looking between $4 and $5 million for sure. And I don't think the Oilers have that money for him. So my understanding is the Oilers would absolutely entertain Brett Kulak at a third pairing number.
Mm-hmm.
And if he comes to if the market tells him that that's what he's going to get, then maybe there's a good chance he signs here, or a relatively decent chance. Now it becomes up to Brett. There's all kinds of teams that would pay Brett Kulak third pairing money, all kinds of teams. So hopefully for him, he gets a big payday somewhere.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to get a big payday in Edmonton, but his family's here. He centralizes in Canmore. His life is there pretty much, and his family's, as we all know, from Spruce Grove, Stony Plain area. So and he was well liked here. I wouldn't think that Brett Kulak would mind playing here, but it becomes about the negotiation.
Yeah. Good stuff, Spec. Stay warm, stay dry, big fella.
All right, boys, have a great Monday.
Mark Spector, Rogers Sportsnet on the mark, brought to you powered by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out at northgategm.com. The real Duke texts in, Eddie, and says, "Good morning, team. Hey, KK, are you attending the new coaching hire press conference? If not, wow, send the Duke as a morning show representative. Step up your game."
Well, come on.
I mean,
now.
if it's at 10 o'clock, obviously, no, I'm not going to be
Fenny
there.
will produce.
Yeah.
Get the Duke down there. Steve Simmons style.
I could just see Duke hammering it out there.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, yeah.
In all your years being around the Oilers, where do you place your confidence level in this management group? Just, we know that we cover the team, but we're also, there's some fans in us. We want to see them do well. Where do you what's your belief in this management, Jeff Jackson, Stan Bowman? Do you feel they're doing a good
0
job?
out of 10?
Yeah, 0 out
5?
of 10. Yeah.
5 max.
I'm at a 3 even. Since Jeff Jackson's been involved, it seems like things have kind of gone downhill.
5 max.
Max.
Yeah. 833-401-1440. For the most part, we've been talking about the Eskimos, Elks, a lot this morning. Most of the people are in agreement of that. Stacy, however, is not. KK, Eddie is out of line with using the term Eskimo. That's a disrespectful term for the Northern First Nations peoples. Be like naming the team Edmonton Egyptians. Very wrong. Reconciliation, boys, be better.
How does she know that?
I don't know.
I would love to know, because
I don't know if it's
Stacey, I know that I've actually been up to Cambridge Bay in the Arctic, in the Nunavut, and I've spoken with elders, I've spoken with leaders, I've spoken with true Inuit people. Until you've done that, Stacey, talk to me another day.
I'm on the same side as you. I've never heard any.
That's the problem. Is it's like I'm kind of over it, and I'm thinking a lot of people are getting over it. Look, we can't be politically correct with every single thing we do. We can't be overly sensitive with everything we do. And when you have people of that background actually proud of the name, man, it's quite telling. And I'm kind of over, towing the line. I was a proud Eskimo, and I think that the name change stinks.
Eddie texts in, your buddy Eddie. Good morning, Kevin. I want to thank Eddie for the lead on D's small engine repair. I took my generator in there on Sunday morning, had it back on Sunday afternoon, fixed at reasonable price. Unbelievable guy. Thank you for the lead. Thank you, Eddie.
Man, speaking of, I was cutting my grass the other day, one of the sunny days a couple days ago. My mower just died on me. I don't know what happened, man. I filled it with gas and everything. It won't go. So I got to bring it over to D again.
So well, did you check the oil?
Yeah.
He filled it with gas. He forgot that he'd switched to an electric.
Stop. Stop.
Eddie, I'd buy you a lawn boy, but you're not smart enough to mix the oil and the gas together.
Oh, boy. No, I'm not. What are we going? 2080?
Oh, Boy, when we come back, we'll get to more of your texts. 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. I've got some good news. If you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck, the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Did you know there are actually 3 seasons we experience in June? Spring, summer, and construction season. And while roads may be narrowed and detours are everywhere, GS construction crews are on site every day doing the work because the city doesn't stop, and neither do we. As we build and upgrade infrastructure, life continues around us. That's why we never lose sight of what matters most, making sure everyone, including our team, returns home safely at the end of the day. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The big hits. The big kicks.
Catch all the action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in a house with tons of big screens. And Selly's menu. Something for everyone. Plus game day food and drink features. So bring your friends, cheer loud and proud, and join the fun at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Every day is game day at Century Casino.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 828 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you here. We were just talking about the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark had a fairly substantial lead, coughed up a few strokes, and some other guys started to play quite well. Sam Burns was really, really good yesterday. And then Wyndham Clark's dad on Father's Day came out.
It's a pretty nice moment.
Yeah.
It really was.
Didn't know he was there.
No, surprised him.
Yeah.
And you can tell the genuine shock, right? You could just see the look on Wyndham's face.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff gets me, man. I'm definitely a sensitive guy when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. Mr. Lister texts in, says, KK, I haven't heard you talk about the irresponsible comments by Pierre LeBrun on the Cassidy coaching situation. And Duke, I asked Duke in the break here, Mr. Lister, I don't know what Pierre said. So I'm not 100% sure. He goes on, says, I felt like it was irresponsible to have a story about Vegas being robbed the wrong way, and that was the reason why they wouldn't let him talk to the Oilers. Clearly, this doesn't explain why he also couldn't talk to the Kings, didn't have a coach at the time. To put that out, put Vegas twisting the facts. Irresponsible. He says, this is Vegas trying to look like the good guys. I'll have to go and try to find this article by Pierre.
See it, yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Lister, but
I'm not surprised Vegas is trying to clean their image up. Everybody's looking at them a certain way.
Northside Lou says Dickinson signing is interesting for Nuge and Howard. Savoy will play left wing on the first line, Pods on the second, Doc on the third. I don't see where Howard plays or an ideal spot for Nuge for that matter, although we know Nuge isn't going anywhere. Well, I mean, it gives them options again. And I mean, Nuge can play left wing on that first line, where if you don't want to have Savoy, and I mean, Savoy can play with Leon Draisaitl too. It's just, there's options here, and Howard can move up and down. Howard's got to take the next step here.
Exactly, he does.
He's not going to get anything given to him here.
No.
So this is a situation where, and the other thing too, you can have Nugent Hopkins play with Dickinson as well. I like when they had, to be honest with you, when they had Dickinson, Nugent Hopkins, and Roslovic, and it looks like Roslovic's going to be moving on here too. But I didn't mind that line when it was together either.
Yeah, Nuge's skill set too at this point in his career, it allows you to just that flexibility from line 1 to line 4.
Humboldt Trent says, I agree with Eddie. A lot of people are agreeing with Eddie. My sister lived in Cambridge Bay for over 25 years. The Inuit there are proud of the Eskimos team name. It was the Inuit in Eastern Canada who have no relationship with the team that raised concerns about the name. Trent from Humboldt.
Well said, Trent.
And again, the one thing, and I told you too, Eddie, that should have been done. And if you got to put this to bed now, the Thompson family can take a plane up with the media, and the media can interview all the people up there, and you take sponsors, you take advertisers.
Yep.
And if the people in the North do not want the name, then fine. That's fine.
And it's put to bed.
Put it to bed. Yeah. Put it to rest. But if all the information up there is coming out that says, no, we want the name.
The time frame of it all too. Like, let's just rewind 5, 6, 7 years. It all happened right around COVID, right around, dare I say it, where everybody went woke, where everybody went overly politically correct, where everybody got overly sensitive. Now, everything is a they or whatever you want to call it. You can identify with whatever you want. We didn't live like that before that time. We didn't live like that before 2020. Sure, people might not have loved the name, but I never once during my tenure as an Eskimo, during my adolescent growing up watching the CFL, I never heard this outcry that the Eskimos was a bad name. It all happened during this woke period, 2020, 2022, right in there, that little 3-year span. And I think we have now gone past it, and I think we're starting to get our senses back. But it was changed hastily. It was changed for a reason. I think that was really pie in the sky. And here we are, Bel Air Direct, who was a title sponsor, threatening to pull the dollars if you don't change the name. They're not even a sponsor in 2026. So in hindsight, you changed the name for literally nothing.
Yeah. And again, this is just one thing. It's one thing. Here's, like, Doug had this good text, and I want to get to it. Here's Kevin and Eddie. One thing that ticked the senior season ticket holders off, our wives their purse was bigger than a small handheld bag, even if they opened it to show security, there was nothing in it, would be denied access by security. Only small see-through plastic bags are allowed. If you have a blanket in a dark bag, you are denied access by security. From what we were told, it's under control by the city, not the Elks. Just another nail in the coffin. He says the final straw that pushed us away, and this is the one thing we discussed, Eddie, is when they closed the upper deck. Our season seats were pushed into the corner in the end zone. Complaints to the office were ignored. That was it for our involvement with the team after 25 years of being season ticket holders. Maybe we didn't bitch loud enough or to the right people. We just had enough.
Doug, I love that. The management, front office people, they butchered things along the way. Absolutely butchered. And Chris Morris isn't shy to talk about there was internal fighting. The ticket office was fighting with the promotions office because there's different departments, right? And you all got to work together, but you have different departments. And there was inter-department battling going on. Which department is making more money for the organization? Which department is pulling their weight more? And there was competition. That's not healthy. And that's why you see the lack of regard for the season ticket holders, the lack of regard for the fans, because these departments were just blowing it down the drain. That's not the case anymore now. The organization is doing it the right way. But Chris Morris himself has even said that about the team.
Text 833-401-1440. As mentioned, Canada's World Cup quest continues to get out of Group B on Wednesday when they take on the Swiss. It should be an exciting game. Yesterday in Group F, Japan beat, that was on Saturday, Japan beating Tunisia. But yesterday, Egypt beat New Zealand by a score of 3-1. And that was the Group G stage. So those were one of the, and I mean, I thought New Zealand was sort of favored her, in this game too, but Egypt won that one 3-1. Also Spain over Saudi Arabia 4-0. And then, probably one of the big stories is Cabo Verde. And again, so they drew with Uruguay 2-2. Belgium and Iran also a scoreless draw there in Group G. So Cabo Verde, that goaltender, that Vojina or whatever his name is, I think he's up to 15 million followers now.
Really?
Yeah. He's just unbelievable.
Just making plays.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's 40 years old. I don't know if they got his mom here because she couldn't get there for the first game, but it's quite the story.
This tournament, which were your engagement levels with it? You starting to buy in a little more?
No, I didn't watch any on the weekend. I can't wait for the game on
Of course,
Wednesday.
Canada. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm paying more attention than I thought I would. I have an interest in it. At the end of the night, I'm wanting to check the scores, see who's looking in their standings.
I watched the England game. 4-2 was the final, and that was on Wednesday or Thursday last week, I guess it was. So
got the slight itch.
Do you think you could have been a soccer player, Eddie?
Well, I did play soccer growing up. They started me off at midfield.
Okay.
Check it out. They started me off at midfield, and I ended up in goal. Because I couldn't run.
I did play. Yeah, you also played hide and seek.
I couldn't run.
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie's storied soccer career began and ended with Timbits soccer.
No, it wasn't Timbits. It was actually older. It was real. It was grade 8. I was 13. But man, I don't know what the coaches were doing. Thinking back, they put the chubbiest kid at midfield. No way. That lasted 2 games, and I was goalie for the rest of the year. I was nice though. I was a cat. Julie the cat style. I was out there jumping around, Duke. I was nice, man.
Oh boy. When we come back, I guess we'll go in or out with Eddie Steele. Get the questions. Duke's got them out. Just having a quick gander here. It's gonna be some good ones. You fired up?
I'm going in blind.
You're going in blind?
No, I'll take a look.
No. When we come back, in or out with Eddie Steele, Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the sports talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Fuel prices got you down? Subaru's here to pick you up. Subaru's electric and hybrid vehicles will save the day, helping you go further for less. Prefer a gas vehicle? Subaru, Crosstrek, and Impreza are built to keep costs low without sacrificing capability. Crosstrek was named 2025 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV, and Impreza has earned top safety pick recognition for 17 years running. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 841 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you, along with the Duke and Josh Fenwick here in our Palatial Sports 1440 studios at West Edmonton Mall. Time now for In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast AC service, Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment right now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out? In or out of what? No time for questions, just action. In or out? Well, then I'm out. I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, Letterbuck.
Rewinding to Saturday afternoon, the Edmonton Elks moved to 2-0 on the season for the first time since 2019. Their 32-29 overtime win over Montreal in the slop, in the rain. Still very early in the season, all teams in the West Division now at just 2 games played through 3 weeks. But the early signs are very encouraging. And I think the Double E are emerging as a legitimate contender to win the West Division.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Rank loves the slop. He
loves the slop. His mutter was a mutter.
His father was a mutter.
You mutter utter.
And you make that joke, Kev. So just we're at the bowling alley, downtown, or not downtown, 118th Ave, whatever. And all the guys are sitting there, and this is the group of friends that it's a gambling group. So we're kind of looking for maybe some lines on some of the soccer games for the afternoon stuff. I say, hey, no, the line here is the Elks. I was like, they're 3-point dogs. And then I said, take them on the money line and mesh that up with a Justin Rankin anytime touchdown.
My God.
I say he loves the slop. That's exactly what I said to them, Kevin. I said he lives in the slop.
Did everyone get that or not?
Oh yeah, lots of Seinfeld guys in there. And then also sprinkled that in with a Justin Rankin multi-touchdown performance, which was going off at about plus 500, plus 600, maybe depending on when you got
laughing,
it.
Duke.
So it was a good afternoon on that
boys
front as
are
well.
laughing.
But anyway, yes, just had to get that in while we were making our slop references.
To the question. Well, remember what we talked about on Friday, Eddie? Show me. And they did.
They did. Against a strong team.
Yeah. I'm going to go one more here yet. Show me.
I'm with
Thursday.
I'm with you.
If you can win in Winnipeg, there's every right to talk about this team winning the division.
100 per.
Show me one more time. Show me on the road a tough, and hopefully they can get some weather here, man. They've had 2 games in pouring rain. Maybe they prefer it. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, they will be playing in a sold-out crowd in Winnipeg because they sold out every game this year again, second year in a row.
So, yeah, for me, it's going to be show me one more time. I think that this is going to be a tough test. Having said that, Winnipeg isn't as good as they were a couple of years ago.
No.
So, I mean, there's an opportunity here.
There is. And right now you're first in the West, 2-0, along with the Riders. I'm with you. Unfortunately, show me. But the belief is there, Duke. In regards to the question, yeah, they will be contenders for the West.
Yeah, so through 2 weeks, they points against actually the lowest in the division. And yeah, the way the weather, like the games, it's obviously hasn't been super conducive, but it's not like they've been low scoring affairs. And they are 4th in total points score. Or excuse me, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong column here. 3rd in total points scored behind Saskatchewan and the high flying Stampeders, surprisingly, who were 0-2 to start the year. So there's a lot of, I just think I look at it as encouraging signs. And we know the CFL is so wide open year to year. Like sometimes what we think preseason gets completely flipped on its head. But in the early going, it does look like the Riders, defending champions, are still a very good team. Winnipeg, we know that they're going to roll out a very formidable program week to week, game to game. And then BC and Calgary and Edmonton were kind of all lumped into this. What are we going to get? Like who emerges from the pack? And I've liked what I've seen from the Green and Gold so far in the early going. Big test coming up this week against
Calgary's
the Bombers.
lost 2 tough games. They're like they're 5 points in point differential.
Oh, I know.
65 points, 470 against. That's to lose 2 games like
they
that.
sound like the Tropic Slow Pitch team. Tough sledding out there.
I don't feel bad for the Stamps.
No.
Well, why would you, Eddie?
I don't. I feel for the Tropics.
Okay,
not the Stamps.
Thank you. Over on the ice, or off the ice, I should say, the Oilers, they make their first official move of the offseason, signing Jason Dickinson to a 5-year extension coming in at a $4 million AAV. The deal does come with some trade protection. So it's at a great price point. I don't think there's any denying that for a third-line center that can touch the game in a few different ways as Dickinson can. This is a great number. You're laughing at it, especially as the deal progresses. But I'm sorry. I do still think 5-year term and trade protection. So you're essentially 2 concessions against the preferred dollar amount. The 2 concessions that the Oilers make, I think, kind of nullifies the deal. And overall, it's just net neutral. This isn't something I'm raving about, screaming to the rafters how good it is, but I'm also not about to condemn it because, man, you get a good player at a very good dollar sign.
So I'm fine with the deal here, Duke, because of how it's put together, where after year 2, he's got the 16 team. So at that point, even if you go say he's 30 years old, so in year 4 or 5 of this deal, even if he's your 4th line center at $4 million, I think you can live with that where the cap is going to be in 4 years down the road.
So that's my whole argument as to why I'm going to be in on the question. Don't love the deal. Hey, numbers fine, but it's the term and it's this no move. So if we're going to categorize players, you just even said in a couple of years he'll be a fourth liner. If there's a
Tail end of the
A tier,
deal.
a B tier, Dickinson would be probably a C tier player. He's not a B tier player on your team. So why does he have this leverage to get a no move in his deal?
But it's only for the first 2 years. Eddie.
I know, but still, how does he get that leverage being who he is and, the category of things in the tiers? A superstar, okay, give him the no move. But why does a third line center get it?
Every team,
but they do it more than others.
I'd say they're average.
We had somebody actually
Same.
text it in terms of total trade protection contracts. The Oilers are actually pretty much right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
I will say that the Oilers seem to attach these to long-term deals and the full no movement anchor. Like if you're just on Puckpedia, that's beside a lot more names than just the little half shield where it's a 10-team no trade list or select 4 teams that you can nick. You get my point. The Oilers seem much more willing to give out full no movement protection than maybe some other teams. That's a number I'd be more curious to explore in terms of where they stack up overall in the league. Because the text game in Carolina has 14 no movement or no trade clauses, and they just won the Stanley Cup. Now, a couple of those deals are like on their last year or two, whereas you look at the Oilers and almost all these extend 3 years plus. And some of them you don't love. Obviously, the Darnell Nurse one, the Jake Wallman one, well, we're going to see. I don't, like I said, I'm not condemning the Oilers for doing this because you get the bargain on the price. But I just think if you gave some trade protection or made this a shorter deal, I don't think you needed to necessarily do both. Extend like the length of it and the protection on top of that. So that's really my only qualm. But overall, I still think it's a great move and a tidy piece of business for Stan Bowman. One of the things we said, hey, take care of your in-house stuff first and then maybe go out and explore the open market to see what is left to fill along the edges for your team. Because for the most part, you're not making a ton of changes overall to this roster. The biggest news of yesterday, however, on top of everything that came down over the weekend, was Brady Tkachuk being traded out of Ottawa and joining his brother Matthew on the Panthers. Florida suddenly becoming a very top-heavy team. 5 forwards make over $8 million on an AAV basis, which means always the case, cap casualties become a factor. We already seen one, RFA Maki Samoskevich being traded out to Seattle, and they net some draft capital in that return. And I think the next one, it's not going to stop there. I think Evan Rodriguez is probably not long for the Panthers at this point.
Where do you put Bobrovsky in this, Duke?
It's a good. Well, it's hard to because he's not signed.
Yeah.
I think right now when you look at the Panthers team, they've got some business they need to, like, their defense is locked up. And you have like 4 guys. Jones is the highest earner at $7 million, and then Mikkola on your second pair is at $5 million. I think you're pretty comfortable with those. And then third pairing near league minimum type players. So you're not really making any changes there that I can see. And if you bring Bobrovsky back, you've got some money still, but you've got quite a few forwards that you need to re-sign or bring in to fill out your.
I guess my question is like, okay, are you calling it a cap casualty because he's not signed yet? Does that still put him in?
Like if they let him walk, they need a goalie.
Yeah,
and so are you going to bring back Tarasov to be your full-time starter?
He's still not signed either.
Well, that's what exactly. Yeah. So they need a goalie, and I think the most logical thing for them is to bring back Bobrovsky on what they're hoping is a team-friendly deal. But reports are that's not really going to be the case.
Yeah.
That he still wants quite a bit of money, and so then if he's not going to work out, all right, well, where do you get a starting goalie? Free agent market isn't particularly good. Do you explore trade avenues, and all of a sudden some of these other pieces you have that seem expendable now, like your third, fourth line forwards that are making too much money, do they get put into deals that can be second or third line players in other teams?
I see where you're coming with Rodriguez is just over $3 million. They love Luosterainen. He's at $3 million.
And that's I just think if you're picking between those two guys, I think Rodriguez is the more likely candidate. He's 5 years older for one thing, and Luosterainen's size and everything. They love that player there. Yeah. So
and Mikkola, he's extended to 2034 as well. So Yeah, I'd probably, if you're saying the guys that are under contract, I'd probably lean towards where you are coming across there with Rodriguez. But again, if you're putting those other guys into a category just because they're not signed, is it still a cap casualty?
So do you think Bobrovsky's back?
I don't know. Like if he wants $7 million, Duke could say a 3-year deal.
Well, they can do that, but then there's going to be more cap casualties in the rest of the roster.
Absolutely, yeah, that's exactly. So that's what they've got to tinker with. They got $7 million to play with, and never mind. What about a guy like AJ Greer? What would he want?
Yeah, well, he's on this list of UFA forwards that they have, like Hinestro's, Anosha, Greer, Kunin, Gregor, Foote, and then Cole Schwinson, RFA. Like, you're not bringing back all these guys, but you need at least a couple or replace them at, fourth line, third line money. I don't know. They're going to be in tight here. And I understand when a player like Brady Tkachuk becomes available, you want to make every effort to get the ad. I don't know if I love this for the Panthers.
I'm with you.
I don't know if I'm as much of a believer in Brady Tkachuk, the player, as a ton of other people seem to be. And this might be the best fit for him because he doesn't have to be the guy like he kind of was in Ottawa. He is essentially a secondary player on this club. But yeah, like it makes them better right now, but for how long? That would be my only question.
They play on the same line, the boys.
I know.
Maddie and
of course
Brady.
they will. And
Probably Bennett, maybe.
Bennett, Sammy.
Probably, yeah.
That'll be a pesty line.
That's a pretty slow line.
It's an annoyance, that's for sure. I like Rodriguez too. I'll be in on the question. I think he's a good player, but he will be a casualty.
He's a 10 to 15 goal scorer, $3 million to play third line, and can do a few. Like, he can play center, he can play the wing. I think there'll be a lot of teams interested in it. So you're not like, it's not a cap casualty where you're just giving them away. I think you can net assets in return, and if you're looking for a little more return, I think there'd be a lot of teams knocking on the door for a guy like Eetu Luosterainen. But I'm not sure Bill Zito's interested in that route. Number 4, Wyndham Clark taking home his second U.S. Open championship. He led wire to wire at Shinnecock Hills here over the weekend, making it interesting on Sunday as he shot +3, ended up winning by just 1 stroke in what was a 6-stroke lead to open the day. But one of the bigger stories was actually the fact he was playing alongside Scotty Scheffler in the final pairing, and the crowd pretty clearly had a favorite and a villain in this group, where with Clark, people even not cheering, booing, jeering him, like when his shots in the air, saying, like, you can hear it picked up on the mics, like, get in the sand, and things like that. A couple people actually even got kicked out. Some spectators
I'm glad they got rid of
from
those
the venue,
fans,
which I'm all for that. Like, I think you need to have a certain decorum in golf, but at the same time, I'm all for having guys that you root against just as much as you root for. Like, you're not yelling in someone's backswing, you're not heckling them while they're along the rope or something taking their shot. But if you don't want to cheer for them, you don't have to cheer for the guys that you want to cheer for. And even in a game like golf, I think it's better for the game when you have villains along with your heroes.
Villain, oh boy. And he apologized again even after he won from last year, what he did,
the locker.
So I think he's paid the price here. And I was happy that he won. And even the fact that, like, to have an American, like, you're booing against an American on American soil, that doesn't happen very often. But New Yorkers are tough, man.
Yeah, they are. This American also put on that jersey at the RBC Open last week too, on Canadian soil. Let's not forget that.
A villain, but it's funny. Like, who would be the next? Like, who's a villain in golf? I mean, like, the fans get on Rory. He gets it too,
but he's become beloved.
But he's almost like he went from being the beloved guy to then being the guy everybody rooted for to choke because he couldn't finish out the career slam. But now he's totally erased that narrative.
Yeah.
So he's back to loving him.
So I think and there was always with Rory a little bit of he's like the company man, right? He's always just propping up the PGA and will never say anything bad about the organization. Then this live stuff shook down and Rory kind of came out, was like, well, I'm just left here in the lurch because I've been backing these guys up, and now they're going to merge with Liv, which we still have yet to see actually happen. He does kind of seem to speak his mind a little bit more now in terms of his stuff with the media and press. Yeah. And he even gets into it with fans.
What did Rory do? He pointed to his belly to some fan?
Because he was, once again, they were heckling Rory. Yeah. He turns around and pointed his gut or what would be his gut, which I'm assuming the fan probably had a nice little spare tire on. as a result. So yeah, I think Rory's kind of turned things around, that he's back to being a very likable player. And Bryson DeChambeau at times has been, I think, a villain for golf, but he's not playing very well again right now. So that makes it tough to pick him out when he's not playing in the second half of the weekend.
I'm in on this, Duke. Any sport, even if it is a gentleman's game of golf, you need the villain, because what it is you're getting passion going for people, for the fans, the spectators. You know, you can root for or against, but it's a passion. And yes, KK, you're right. Crossing the line. No, you don't want to cross the line and when a guy's swinging or whatnot. But to have that passion on either side, that's good for any sport.
Were you a villain when you played Timbit soccer, Eddie?
No, man. I was too slow, too chubby. I was victimized.
People would have felt bad.
I was victimized.
Look at poor Eddie. Put him in that.
Villainizing Eddie.
A little porky kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it, like, especially when there's yesterday in the final, the way it was down the stretch, that it got close, but it was because we were rooting for him to miss shots, because the only person that, like, Burns is already in the clubhouse. He can't make any more shots. So it's kind of just natural that you latch on to something to want to, you know, maybe get a playoff hole or something like that. So I like Clark. He's obviously very talented. I mean, 2 U.S. Opens speak to that pretty loudly. But yeah, I think there's something to be said about having somebody to root against. And he seems to draw the ire of more than he does the fan base. So that's fine. Finally, today is National Onion Rings Day.
Ooh.
Of all the most commonly available sides when you're out for a meal, and I'm talking anywhere from, like, there's general restaurant burger spot to maybe something a little nicer, even just fast food, all across the spectrum. I think onion rings power rank at the very bottom. And it basically doesn't even matter what else is available. Fries, different kinds of fries, a side salad, a soup of the day, tots.
No way, man. I love some onion rings, man.
Do you?
Oh,
The thing about it, though, is when are you often ordering onion rings at a restaurant that is not A&W?
Yeah.
Like, usually you're only ordering onion rings from A&W.
They don't have it in like on the menu even a lot.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, like, you can always get a side of fries.
Exactly.
A lot of times you don't find that.
I don't think they're as common anymore. Maybe they were. Maybe it's just like my own memory hole. I think they used to be more popular on the menu at fast food
Just
spots.
your classic battered ones.
But I think they're still very common in almost every, like, if you go to first round, you can get onion rings, right? If you go to any place where you're sitting down, like a sports bar, that's always a available side option. And I just, the level of consistency with them from place to place, I don't know if it holds up enough to go with it over just the standard fries or any of the other options that are usually on the menu.
Man, I love the onion rings. They're not at the bottom of the list for me, especially those A&W onion rings. Man, are they good?
So you're going to be out too?
Yeah, I
So
it's not at the bottom of the list.
What's worse?
It's not at
What's
the bottom
worse than
for me
onion
either.
rings?
Potato wedges. I've been waiting to get this off my chest. Potato wedges
Why?
stink. Big chunks of potato, thick
way.
wedges.
You
That's
gotta
not
have,
a
you
fry.
gotta cook them properly.
No, man.
We
They're
had them
so
last
thick.
night. They were fabulous.
You probably cut up just big hunks of potato, huh?
No,
2-inch hunks.
One time though, when we were fishing up north, Eddie, this is years ago, we ran out of food. Like we had not, there's 10 guys and we ate for 2-3 days and there was nothing left in the last night. So, you know, we were still drinking pretty good. There was the only thing that was left was a 50-pound bag of onions. So we made onion rings.
You guys, your guts were flaming.
Oh, like for hours.
Yeah.
Guys were just, you know, putting them in the batter and that's all we ate for
eating on
all
onion.
night long. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know how that was. I know what that campsite smelled like.
Yeah, I don't know. The potato wedges, it's true that, like onion rings, they're pretty volatile. Like from place to place or even the same place, sometimes sitting to sitting, you're not going to get the same
They're
consistency.
crunchy sometimes.
Sometimes, and I like them a nice crunchy exterior and then...
No, I mean like the potato portion is like...
Oh,
it's
like
so
they're
thick.
undercooked.
Yeah.
What you're saying, right? Like the
Yeah,
inside is still
exactly.
too hard. That is a very real problem to have. But I have a pretty good affinity for them growing up, like the Burnt Lake gas station out on the west side of Red Deer.
They got
they got like the hot kitchen there where you get some fried chicken or potato wedges. And that was anytime we're making a trip to drop off something at what was then Burnt Lake Auction Market, you stop in there and bring home and a whole family order of wedges for whoever's back at the farm still. So
Grazer says, "What the hell are you doing bringing a 50-pound bag of onions on a fishing trip?" Well, we never brought them. They were just there. They were like, you know, because
he harvested the wild onions.
That is so valid.
Kevin's green thumb extends to beyond his own garden. He can like just step out into nature
You
and
want a
be
bulb?
like, oh, there's a fresh wild crop of vegetables over beyond this tree line.
Tom
Need to
Guy
go track
says
them
the
down.
onion rings from Peter's Drive-In are the best. To me,
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
I thought they were a little bit greasy for me.
Yeah, they're your typical just battered.
Yeah.
They're just kind of plain
That's why
Jane.
that's why I like the A&W ones the best.
Man, they got that seasoning salt.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Something else. They got that flavor.
Yeah.
There's nothing that beats them.
Yeah. You got to get them made fresh though when you
Yes.
go. Don't get the ones that have been sitting there for
I love to at the bottom of the bag of the A&W ones. You
Yeah.
know, some of the fried bits fall off.
Yeah.
So then you shake it all into your mouth after the little bits in the seasoning. Ooh.
Talladega says DQ onion rings are superior than A&W's. I'll fight you over it, he says. Okay. I don't they're okay, but those are just the normal.
Again, kind of standard. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't get over this about onion rings when you take the bite and then the entire thing, the entire
pulls.
onion just slides out the end of the crust.
Oh,
That's your favorite thing, huh, Kevin?
no, you just bite through it.
But sometimes it's like they're
Too hot for you?
Well,
Burn
that,
your tongue?
that hurts. That can
Well,
be a
Duke,
factor.
you know what you do like to step the game up to the next level is, yeah, sure, you'll take that bite, it'll all slide. Then you take the ketchup bottle and you fill it, you backfill it with ketchup.
What?
The hollowed out onion ring.
Eddie, that's crazy.
You backfill it with ketchup.
That's crazy.
Then you got a nice little ketchup fry.
Janice has wrapped the onion rings in bacon, cook them in the air fryer. Next level.
Talk to me now, Janice.
Wow. That's In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. Check them out at prosolutionsinc.ca. Eddie, you got you and Declan doing some work
Yeah,
today?
heading down to do the pod right now.
You got any guests?
No guess. We weren't able to do a post game because I was out of town and Deck had some Father's Day activities yesterday. So we're gonna do a little post game breakdown.
Well,
and
you
then,
can do a deeper dive.
oh, it'll be a thoroughly deep dive, deep
Deeper
end.
dive. Like,
We'll be in the deep end.
Were you
Kevin.
concerned that we didn't do enough of the deeper
No,
dive
today was quite thorough.
Yeah.
Today was quite good job.
Well, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
I love you, man.
We'll see you on Friday, Eddie. Have a good. Are you going to be golfing in the next few days here? Because I think tomorrow's better weather.
Well, yeah, we got nice weather Tuesday through Friday.
Yeah.
Sunny, but I don't know, man. We need to let the grounds just dry out a little bit.
Well, it's going to take. I mean, I told you, like we played at the ranch yesterday, and that course drains better than anything. And you said you had a time. You had a time
Today, yeah, we were supposed to play today to this evening at Millwoods.
Yeah.
Got the email yesterday that
Yeah.
the course was closed.
So even like I would say the ranch was the only course that was open yesterday in town.
Wow,
because the water, and there was no water pooled on the greens anywhere.
It's impressive.
It was unbelievable.
The ranch.
Yeah, but tough sledding. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to do a deeper dive with a couple of guests talking about the big trade with Florida and Ottawa. We got David Dwork and Alex Adams coming up. Eddie, have a great day.
Have a good day,
Good show.
KK.
Yeah.
Appreciate you as always.
Yeah, take care, big guy. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca, and that's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Blockbuster trade in the NHL to finish off the weekend. And yesterday afternoon, the Senators sending Captain Brady Tkachuk to the Florida Panthers in exchange for the 9th and 25th overall picks in the upcoming draft, a second rounder in 2027, and a conditional first-round pick in 2029. Edmonton Oilers also taking care of some offseason business as they extended center Jason Dickinson to a 5-year deal that carries a cap hit of $4 million. Had 17 points in 64 games last year, came over and joined Edmonton at the trade deadline. In Seattle, taking advantage of Florida's expanding cap situation, they acquire pending RFA Mackie Samoskevich in exchange for first-round pick this year and a conditional second-rounder in 2027. Seattle also signing and extending Bobby McMahon, who came over the trade deadline from Toronto, to a 6-year deal with an AAV of $5.75 million. Out of Utah, reports this morning that they and head coach Andre Turigny have come to terms on an extension. He was about to enter the final year of his current contract. And in the NBA, Dallas Mavericks finalizing a deal to make head coach of Michigan basketball, Dusty May, their next bench cost. World Cup action yesterday. Spain blank Saudi Arabia 4-0. Belgium and Iran drew 0-0. Uruguay and Cabo Verde tied at 2-2. And Egypt get a goal from Mo Salah to defeat New Zealand 3-1 in the nightcap. Blue Jays got rained out yesterday to make up that game at Wrigley later on this season. But another action, the Yankees fell to Cincinnati 4-1. And Seattle beat Boston 3-1. Edmonton Riverhawks finished off their road trip last night with a win 8-0 in Corvallis over the Knights. Finally, U.S. Open action. Wyndham Clark led wire-to-wire, finishing off with a +3 fourth round, -4 on the week to take home his second U.S. Open championship. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by David Dwork from the Hockey News covering the Florida Panthers and Sportsnet's Alex Adams covering the Ottawa Senators. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a park view rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Tired of the rough ride? Alberta used to be a leader in highway planning and construction, but years of neglect and cuts to maintenance are showing. You can see it, and your vehicle is feeling it. Infrastructure can last for years with a little TLC, but when repairs are deferred, minor issues become major reconstruction. We need action and a reliable capital plan. Contact your MLA and demand stable infrastructure funding. Find out how at fixourroads.com.
A message from the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association.
To the person who doesn't know a dahlia from a dandelion, hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. Don't worry, that's our job. So enjoy our wide range of custom bouquets, build your own, and other seasonal options. Whether you know the names or not, that's the beauty of it. Whether you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, or just need a pop of color in the man cave, just say the occasion and our floral team will take care of the rest. For fresh flowers, visit a Safeway near you.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9/11 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Our text line 833-401-1440. IMAX says, you played golf yesterday? What are you, nuts? I said, yeah, it wasn't a smart move. He says, at least the greens were holding. Yeah, they were. Yeah, except the rooster tail on the putts, he said, would look like a race boat. That's kind of what it was like yesterday for sure. Greater Man Jay says, morning, guys. When you played hockey growing up, if you're missing a couple teeth here and there, and the onion always would come out through the rings. I wouldn't change a thing, LOL. Rob says, A&W onion rings were the best in the 90s before they changed to the current recipe. Didn't know that. I'll take Harvey's or DQ onion rings over the current A&W. Grazer says, come on, boys, out to Devon tomorrow. It's going to be golfing tomorrow. It'll be sunny. Well, you can get Eddie out there maybe. I don't know if Eddie's got time tomorrow. Grazer, but you never know.
What,
Steve,
you don't have time, Kev?
Well,
you're not going to the press conference,
we'll
right?
see what time the press. I got to wait on that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Sort of
I'm just greasing you because of what that one guy texted in earlier.
Yeah, what did he say?
We hadn't even talked about if you were going or not, but he just was like, "Oh, Kevin, you're not going? Wow, you got to go.
If not, send the Duke. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll go.
Yeah,
coming guns a blazing.
Hey, I want to bring in Josh Fenwick here too about the new coach in the NBA, this is the last time a college coach went to the NBA for a head job. Josh Fenwick was another former Michigan coach back in 2019. Went to Cleveland. John Beiling.
Oh yeah, didn't work out.
No, Dusty May finalizing a deal to take the Dallas Mavericks head coaching job. So, what do you make of this? I don't know. I don't know too much about Dusty May.
I think this is a great hire.
Yeah.
Dusty May is an incredible coach. I thought maybe he had signed an extension with Michigan after winning the national championship this year, but my memory is
Well, he very well might have, but almost all college contracts, or most, they almost always have pro outs.
Oh yeah,
and this is a college basketball, football doesn't, and even hockey. I think that if pro league options come along, they basically get a free out of the college deal.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I was a little surprised that maybe he has now decided to leave, because they had a great thing going in Michigan with him. But I do remember talking to Paul about it after they had won the national championship. I said, Dusty May, that's an NBA guy right there. He's really smart. He knows how to set plays. He's produced a lot of NBA level talent. And I think him going to a place like Dallas, where he could get the most out of a guy like Cooper Flagg, or expedite his progression in the league. So I really like the hire. I think Dusty May is a great coach.
If Cooper Flagg's not there, do you think he even?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's probably the draw here. No.
Oh, 100%. Because he could continue to have a great thing going in Michigan, or he can go and work with a front office that would believe in him in the Dallas Mavericks, Masai Ujiri, and one of the up and coming player, the reigning rookie of the year, and Cooper Flagg, who's got all the upside in the world. So I really like this move for Dallas a lot.
Text 833-401-1440. Rich says, for your information, the local at Sherwood Park has incredible onion rings. Colin says Freezing Bros potato wedges are on fire. Wally says potato wedges should be outlawed. Crispy potato wedges dipped in mayo are awesome, from Steve from Drumheller. Hammer says the best potato wedges ever were from Wink's convenience store in the 90s. I think I got a feeling Eddie's going to be stopping at some convenience store and getting the microwave going on the way home here for sure. When we come back, we're going to bust down this trade between Ottawa and Florida. We got two angles, so we're going to hit Florida first, and David Dwork from the Hockey News, followed up by Alex Adams from Rogers Sportsnet, covers the Ottawa Senators. And also we'll check in with Allison Lucan, Seattle Kraken analyst, in the 10 o'clock hour, plus another edition of Cam and Eggs. Cam Tate. Saw Tater on Saturday afternoon at the Double E football game. He was in the press room. When we come back, David Dwork from the Hockey News on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of electrician school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
I'm good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Alberta is growing, but our highways are crumbling. Are you tired of the rough ride? In the last 15 years, our population has grown with hundreds of thousands more cars and trucks on our highways. Today, more than 15% of Alberta's highways are in poor condition. Cutting highway maintenance doesn't save money. It makes repairs more expensive. Don't let the government ignore the problem. Your MLA works for you. Tell them to fix our roads. Visit fixourroads.com for more information.
A message from the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is here. When the match is on, you call the shots. Whether it's a parlay after working all day or a straight bet and straight to bed, Betway has what it takes for you to bet the Edmonton way. So when it's your turn to play the Edmonton way with Betway. Play responsibly. Alberta only. 18+.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:20 in Edmonton. And time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, because your pipes take a beating on game day too. Ready for overtime, even when your plumbing isn't. That's mrrooter.ca. As we welcome back David Dwork from the Hockey News, covers the Florida Panthers. Good morning, David. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Happy to come on, Kevin. It's always a good time.
Yeah, for sure. So big trade yesterday with Ottawa Senators bringing in Brady Tkachuk. What's the reaction been so far on acquiring Matthew's brother, who's going to team up, and you'll have 2 Tkachuks in Florida next year, David?
It's been pretty positive reaction down here in South Florida so far. Obviously, fans are thrilled to have the Bash brothers coming together here under the Panthers banner. We've seen, over the last several years how the two of them, they feed off each other. They play well together. I mean, I think they got a little taste of it when the Panthers hosted the All-Star game back in 2023, and they got to be on the same line with Sasha Barkov. But that's the All-Star game. That's a skills competition. Yeah. We got to 4 nations. Then we started to really see what these guys can do together. And then obviously at the Olympics last year, and that story just kind of continued to percolate as the time went by. Brady and Matthew building something. What are they doing in Pantherland? So to see it come to fruition pretty abruptly. I mean, it kind of been behind the scenes in the works for a little bit, but it came together pretty quickly on Father's Day yesterday. Yeah. And now it's just a matter of, what is this Panthers team going to look like? Who is going to stop them come playoff time? And the big question, the only question the Panthers still have right now is, what are they going to do in goal? But I don't think that's a huge concern because of the success they've been able to find at that position over the past several years. But it's a good time right here in South Florida. It's been a good time for a while, Kevin, with one injury-filled season notwithstanding. Hockey fans down here are pretty happy.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. David Dwork with us on Sports 1440. We'll get to Sergei Bobrovsky in a moment, but is it a slam dunk that Matthew and Brady play on the same line together, maybe with a guy like Sam Bennett?
I mean, on paper, it makes sense, but I think that with Paul Maurice, I'm sure his guys are having a little bit of fun playing fantasy hockey right now and looking at the guys that they're going to have to work with. I think, off the top of your head, when you're thinking about putting the lines together, you go with familiarity. So that would continue. That would keep Barkov with Verhaeghe and Sam Reinhart. That would keep Anton Lundell with Luosterainen and Brad Marchand. And then by default, you would have the Tkachuk brothers and Sam Bennett creating maybe the most hated line in all of hockey history. Like the rat line on the names would be just spectacular to come up with. Maybe they could open like a contest to fans. That would be fun. But no, I mean, look, it's an embarrassment of riches, the Panthers Florida ranks right now. And whether you've got the Tkachuks together with Sam Bennett, whether you move one of them up with Sasha Barkov, because Brady did say that he really liked playing with Sasha during the All-Star and the creativity and practicing together. So I think that there's some options there. What I'm really curious to see is how the power play makeup works out, just because Florida, they've got enough for 2 top end power plays right now. Are they going to put Matthew and Brady together on the same power play? Are they going to be net front on 2 different power plays? There's just so many different questions and little tweaks that we're going to see as the season goes on that personally, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out, just because Paul Maurice really seems to enjoy himself, just moving his players around and finding what works.
Yeah. I don't know if distraction is the correct word here, but do you think anything can come into play here? Because these are 2 pretty strong personalities and everyone sees what they do on their podcasts and things like that. And do you think that there could be anything negative with the 2 of them, on the same team here?
I mean, it depends on what angle you're coming from. Like from a hockey perspective, I don't think so. I think they're both pretty affable. They're both very popular in hockey circles. They've got a lot of friends all around the league. And outside of being very difficult to play against, they're both fairly well liked in league circles. I think maybe the gray area in that is if we get away from the hockey stuff and we get into the political element, just because it's so divisive, here in the States right now, maybe than we've had in hundreds of years. So that element could be a little different. Matthew and Brady have, certainly planted their flag on their side of that line, and which is, that's the beauty of it. You should be able to support what you want to support. But that in and of itself could be an issue. Now, I don't think it's going to be an issue here in South Florida. It hasn't been an issue for Matthew. The team has done a good job, and Matthew's done a good job of keeping that pretty much out of the realm of what we're discussing. But when you ask me about any potential distractions that could possibly come up, that's really the only thing that I can think of, because hockey-wise, I think that these guys are pretty well set.
Yeah. David Dwork from the Hockey News in Florida, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. So you mentioned it, the goaltending situation. That's first and foremost what Bill Zito's got to address here. What do you think is going to happen with a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky? And again, even Danil Tarasov still hasn't been signed either.
Yeah, it maybe changes things a little bit. I know that to this point, I personally had been thinking that the Panthers and Bobrovsky would find a way to get something done. Bob has been a great team player, somebody who his teammates love down here since he got here, particularly since they've gone on this run. But what we've seen under Bill Zito with all Florida's top players, all the stars that he's locked up, is that everybody has stayed for term on a team-friendly deal in order to put, what they're leaving on the table back into the team and build this ridiculously deep roster. So the thought was, and personally, I thought this was going to be the case, that Bob would take that, go down that path as well and take something team-friendly. And look, he's going to be 38 years old at opening night. He's coming off a contract that just paid him $70 million. So those stars were aligning. But as we've seen what's happened in terms of the negotiations to this point, they're not really close. Bob appears to be looking for term and dollars, and that's something that most players have been able to work with Bill Zito in terms of the negotiations. So it's a little surprising to see what's happened with Sergei Bobrovsky. I don't think that it's something that's going to hinder the Panthers' big picture, just because they've been able to find so much success with goaltending, with their goaltending excellence department that's run by Roberto Luongo. He's got Francois Allaire, who's one of the best goaltending minds of this and the past generation, along with Robbie Tallis and his brother Leo. And they have found so many great goaltenders since they came together that have played very well for Florida. Going back to Alex Lyon, Danil Tarasov, as you mentioned. Vitek Vanacek was really good. They're the ones that targeted Devin Levi before he was a big deal and got him in the 7th round and turned that into a big asset. They found Brandon Bussey last year and signed him only for him to get picked up by Carolina. So they know how to target very good goaltenders, which is part of why I'm not overly concerned. If it doesn't work out with Bob, I feel like they're going to be able to find guys that can perform well in Paul Maurice's systems for a much more reasonable price.
Yeah. What would be your ballpark figure for term and dollars?
For who?
For Bobrovsky.
If he were to stay in Florida, I think, as we saw with Marchand, the term might not be as big of a deal because they gave 38-year-old Brad Marchand 6 years to kind of get the salary up. I think with Bob, maybe 4 or 5 years, something with an AAV around 5 was something that I was thinking would be reasonable. I think that might be too low for Bob, but just for an aging goaltender who's going to play maybe 45 to 50 games, who we saw some chinks in the armor last season, is somebody that's going to excel when the Panthers are at their best. Just like the first few years when Bob was in Florida, the Panthers weren't that great of a defensive team, and he wasn't that great of a goaltender in front of those teams or behind those teams. Paul Maurice shows up, the Panthers become this exceptionally good defensive team, cutting down high danger chances, taking away rebound opportunities, and Bob became what they thought they were going to get when they signed him. So I think that the idea is, Bob will play well in front of a fully stacked Panthers team, but is it worth that kind of money, especially now? Maybe not.
Mm-hmm. The Mackie Samoskevich trade, was that just to get the currency that you needed to make the trade with Ottawa?
I think that was a big part of it, but also with Mackie Samoskevich, it was going to be very difficult for him to crack the top 6 with Florida, and that was before they brought in Brady, obviously. Mm-hmm. This is somebody, and with most young skilled players, you got to put them in these positions where you got to get them in the top 6. You got to get them on a power play. You've got to get them into the positions where they're going to be able to find the success they found as youthful players. They're going to build their confidence. They're going to play in those situations. And I think with Mackie, it was going to be very difficult for him to get that kind of a run in South Florida. Now he goes to Seattle. He'll certainly get time in the top 6. They're going to put him in situations to succeed. They're going to let him try to flourish with his skill. And it's no knock on Mackie that Florida traded him. I just think just the way that the roster is made up, it'd be really difficult to get somebody in his position where his skill set is right now into that mix. So I think this is something that could work out well for both sides.
What about AJ Greer, David? What do you think happens with him?
I think he may have priced himself out of South Florida with that great season he had last year. He showed that he's got the offensive upside, that he can play a middle 6 role. He's not going to be great. AJ Greer, this might be my best chance at getting like a really high dollar, decent term contract after the year he had with the league landscape, what it is right now, with, there's the talent level that player with the trade market being what it is, free agency being, I think that he can maybe maximize his value. So I would Florida love to have him back. Absolutely. But I just don't think they'll be able to afford him. Once July 1 hits, I have a feeling there's going to be some decent offers for AJ that he's earned.
David Dwork, our guest on the Kevin Carey Show on Sports 1440. We have a little segment called In or Out, David, and I'm going to read you the question that we just had about a half an hour ago. The biggest news yesterday came with Brady Tkachuk being traded out of Ottawa, joining his brother on the Panthers. Florida has suddenly become a very top-heavy team with 5 forwards making over $8 million. The next cap casualty for the team is Evan Rodriguez. What do you think? I
think that would be the next guy to come out, just because, where's Evan going to play next year now? It looks like the 4th line. He's better than a 4th line player. He's played on the top line for Florida. He's kind of been their Swiss Army knife. They've moved him around to wherever they might need a guy, whether there's an injury or what have you. And he's got a great shot. I love watching him practice his shot just because he's put so much work into between the one-timer release points. And he's a very smart player. He's just loved in the locker room. I just think his AAV is at $3 million this year, which I think is pretty reasonable. But just for a team that's not going to put that kind of money into a player that's maybe going to play 9 to 10 minutes a game on a 3rd or 4th line, I think it would love to keep him around. But if you're talking about somebody that has to be a cap casualty, he's probably at the top of the list.
Yeah. What's the cupboard look like here in the sense, no draft picks in the 1st round for the next 3 years. They do have 2 seconds this year, but what about in the pipeline in the system? How stocked are the shelves here?
I think it's one of those situations where like you move your best products to the front of the shelf and you don't necessarily notice what's behind it in the grocery store. When they bring the cereal to the front, you don't realize there's only 1 box left. But I think at the top of it, they've got some decent NHL prospects that we saw last year get a decent run at the end of the season when they had all the injury issues. Whether you're talking about a Jack Devine as the forward, Sandisville Manis, he was great for the Panthers. He was great for Latvia in the Olympics. He's somebody that I could see making the team at a training camp. Another one is Mike Benning, defenseman, was great in college. He's an RFA that I think the Panthers are going to bring back. That they can see possibly being somebody in their defensive pipeline. It's not a huge prospect pool right now because, look, you've got to spend some of your assets to build this kind of NHL club. But there are guys that can come up this year and make a difference. And to have that combined with what Bill Zito's brought, I think that's pretty cool.
How do you think Mike Benning played, called up at the tail end of the year? How do you think he played?
He looked really comfortable. Like he was putting pucks on net. He was getting points. I think his first game, he got an overtime assist, or his first NHL point was an overtime assist. But he looked comfortable. He didn't look out of his realm. He's a smaller guy, so you have to wonder how that's going to be in the NHL. But I thought he did pretty good, considering it was just his first cup of coffee. He was really solid with Charlotte last year. I know the coaching staff was really happy with him, able to use him in a lot of different situations. So in terms of just his ascension, I think he could be a guy that could be one of maybe the first defensive call-up, if not somebody that they're looking at to maybe make the team at a training camp if he has taken a step forward. Just because if they're going to carry a seventh defenseman, he could be that guy.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a smaller body, as you mentioned, but he doesn't shy away from stuff. And, you know, the one game when he came up here and played, I thought he looked pretty darn good. He looked like a guy that there's something there. There's a player there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you weren't looking at him last season as somebody that had just been called up and that was getting their first taste of NHL action. He seemed very comfortable. And yeah, you mentioned one of the things that I really liked about him. We knew that he could put pucks on net. We knew that he could skate, but the physicality, I wasn't expecting how willing he was to go into the dirty areas. And maybe that was just him saying, hey, I'm with the Panthers. I know what they want from their guys. Let me go and show that I can absolutely be that guy. But good on him for showing it. I think that there is an NHL pathway for him to have a really strong career.
Another younger guy that played some junior here with the Edmonton Oil Kings, Grayson Sauchin, a local product from nearby Grand Prairie, played in Charlotte last year. Do you think he's going to can he get a look for a couple games next year? What do you think his future is there? He's just 21 as well, so he's a young guy.
Yeah, and coming off an injury, I know that they were really happy with him in limited time last year in Charlotte. So I think if he's healthy, if he's been able to put on a little bit of muscle, because obviously he's somebody who's not a big guy as well. Yeah. But if he's been able to put on a little size, he's somebody that does not shy away from the physicality at all. I saw him once in Charlotte last season, and the speed is really cool with Grayson Sauchin. I mean, he's got offensive capabilities. He's got great hands. I think for him, the biggest thing that they're going to be looking for is just that he can grow physically, which look, at his age, like this is the time where you should be putting on a little bit of weight, putting on a little bit of muscle. But no, there's definitely an upside from Grayson Sauchin, and I would like to see a full season of him in the AHL. Let him get a run. Let him earn the coaching staff's trust. I want to see him more power play time. He's got the skills that he can play shorthanded. He could be a great two-way player. If they can put him in those situations and he can show that he can excel, why not bring him up?
How busy do you think Bill Zito will be next Wednesday on July 1st for free agency?
I think that Bill and his staff are staying busy throughout. I think that they enjoy being in the cauldron, working their tails off. I mean, look, it was Father's Day yesterday, and they look what happened. So I think that this is like right where they want to be. I'm super excited for Zito and his staff. And like I said before, like the big thing that I'm very, very curious to see how it plays out is just the goaltending, because these guys are so well plugged into it, and Zito has put so much trust and faith into his goalie guys. July 1, man, for a team that's so stacked in terms of their roster, to go into July 1 still with like some excitement and anticipation, they make my job fun, Kevin.
Hey, David, always great stuff. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, and hope you enjoy the summer here. It's going to be some interesting times here in the next little bit.
Definitely, and I hope you enjoy your sun-filled summer as well. I remember going up to Edmonton, and the sun never set. It felt like. But I hope you guys have a great summer up there, and perhaps a finals reunion would be awesome. Next June.
We haven't seen the sun for a few days here. It's been raining, but as always, David, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Happy to do it.
That's the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter, knocking your plumbing problems out of the park. That's mrrooter.ca. And just during that interview, Ryan Rashog, Mark Spector reporting that the Oilers have come to terms with defenseman Connor Murphy, looking at a 5-year deal, 4.1 per season. We'll get the details on that. Frank Saravalli also reporting on that. But Connor Murphy signing a contract extension, 5 years, 4.1 million. So that's decent wage there as well. So the two guys that the Oilers picked up at the deadline from Chicago have signed with the team. That's a headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter, knocking your plumbing problems out of the park. MrRooter.ca. When we come back, we'll go to the other side of the spectrum. What's the reaction in Ottawa with the big trade yesterday with Alex Adams? Right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Home ice advantage is real at the rink and on your windows. Novo Blinds is Edmonton's own custom manufacturer, trusted by customers around the city. Factory direct pricing with the fastest turnaround around. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
A Saskatchewan boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Karius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior cams. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregate. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com. Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:41 in Edmonton. In case you missed it, the Oilers have signed defenseman Connor Murphy to a 5-year deal worth $4.1 million per season. We're going to talk a little trade that happened yesterday now with Alex Adams from Rogers Sportsnet, and our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the 2500 Black Express packages are here. They got the 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color bumpers, and grille, and a sport performance hood. Check them out at StAlbertDodge.com as we welcome in Alex Adams from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Alex. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a crazy day or I guess last 24 hours here in Ottawa, so I'm excited to discuss.
For sure. What's been the reaction in the nation's capital with the trading of the captain, Brady Tkachuk, to Florida?
I think it's bittersweet, a lot of anger, but also in a sense, a lot of relief that the questions about his future are gone, right? And I think he's going to get a lot of boo birds whenever he comes back to Ottawa next year with the Florida Panthers. But I think overall, I think the fan base feels hurt. but also feels like, okay, let's go to the next chapter. Let's see what they can do with these picks. It looks like Steve Staios will be very aggressive in terms of trying to acquire another top 6 forward to basically replace Tkachuk, and just kind of going on to the Stützle Sanderson era for this team, where that is now the new timeline. For a long time, it's like, okay, here in Ottawa, can the Senators win in the next 2-3 years of Brady Tkachuk's contract? And now the question kind of gets extended for the next 5 years when Stützle and Sanderson are in really good contracts, and they're only getting better and still really young. So it's bittersweet. It sucks. I think the fact that he wanted out and wanted to go to Florida makes it, an even bitter pill to swallow. At the same time, I think everyone involved, Elliot Friedman, my colleague, was reporting to how much, the players maybe in the room aren't necessarily too upset that Brady's leaving town. And there was a ton of circuses surrounding him from on and off the ice this year. Trust me, being in the room, there's moments I'll remember for a long time. So I would just say overall, it's done with. I think it's time to move on. And I think the Senators, there is a world where they get better, but right now they are not. And it's going to be tough to replace or even try to kind of make up for Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah. What do you think of the return, Alex? What's been the reaction of the return for what they give up?
I think some people really wanted a player back. I think a lot of people wanted Lundell or maybe even Samoskevich, who was traded basically to get more picks to be sent to Ottawa in the end. But I think the return's really good, all things considered. You got 3 first-round picks, another second-round pick. Like, that's a big haul. Like, that's bigger than the Quinn Hughes haul, basically, in my opinion. And at the same time, you have a bunch of cap space. You can now use those picks, which I'd imagine I'd be shocked if the Sens draft all their 3 first-round picks later this week. I'd imagine that they are traded away, at least 1, maybe 2, maybe even some in the future as well. So I think Staios, had his hands tied behind his back, made a good deal. I think the bigger thing is that he made the deal when he did. Like, there was no reason. If Brady Tkachuk is saying, I'm not sure I want to stay here, wink, wink, I'm going to go to Florida, then you have to make the deal and move on, get as much back as you can. And I thought they did all right. Would you have loved Anton Lundell instead? I think so. But, he didn't. He was really only negotiating with Florida. I don't know how much I believe the other teams on that list, but we will see. But anyways, that's kind of my opinion of it, is that I think he did a pretty good job. And I don't think anyone's kind of besmirching him for the deal that he made.
Alex Adams with us from Rogers Sportsnet on the Kevin Carey Show on Sports 1440. You mentioned, so it's the Stützle and Sanderson era. Who's going to be the next captain of this team, do you think?
That was immediately the question I was thinking about. I would give the slight lead in the clubhouse to Jake Sanderson. I just think he's a consummate pro, kind of lead by example, I think he's more of, I don't know how to say this, but I think a lot of guys galvanize around him. He's a really likable dude. I think Tim Stützle would be a great captain too, but he is very much kind of so focused on winning and his game that I think sometimes he loses a little bit of the bigger picture with the team because he wants to win so much. It's not a bad thing. But I think just for the sense, I think Sanderson, I could see Thomas Chabot also getting the nod as well, but he has 2 years left on his contract. Unless you feel really confident that he's going to stay here long term, I think it's probably going to Sanderson, but I think it's Chabot, Sanderson, or Stützle are like the clear 3, and likely Sanderson or Stützle.
Yeah, that's, either way. I mean, Sanderson, as you said, he's locked into 2032, and Stützle is, as you know, locked in long term. So maybe they go that route for sure. Alex Adams with us on Sports 1440. I know Stevie Staios is going to speak to the media here shortly. What do you think he's going to say? Like, what's the message going to be? Where this team is and where it is going forward?
I think his message is going to begin with, we're not taking a step back next year. Now, do I fully believe that statement? I don't know. It's going to be hard to replace Tkachuk, as we talked about, but they are in a win now moment. If I were them, the win now is for the next 5 years. So whatever you think you can maximize your potential to win a cup or go deep in the playoffs and become a real contender in the next 5 years, that is your goal. So trading away, a first round pick this year for a rental that isn't going to be on the team next year, that would be way too much of a win now move. They're not that close, I think, especially without Tkachuk. With Tkachuk, maybe, but that's not where we are at right now. So I think it's like, okay, we've taken a step back, but we're going to use these assets to take a step forward or get back to where we were. The team will look different. We might be better and more deep because, all our assets aren't allocated to like the salary cap that we were, or the salary that we were giving Tkachuk. So I think that's the way he's going to spin it. I think it's going to be received marginally well. But let's say we're here on July 1st and the Senators have added Jake DeBrusk for a second and made a couple, another depth acquisition. I don't think fans will feel really good about where they're at. If instead it's Jason Robertson or Jared McCann or someone better, then maybe we have a different discussion. And it feels like the Senators have just compiled those assets, got them from Florida, and used them to make their team better, which I think is possible, even though it will be a mighty challenge for Staios.
How busy do you think Steve will be on July 1st, Alex?
I think the time is now ahead of the draft. I think that's his. So if I got an update from Sens PR in the next 5 minutes that the Senators have made a big trade for Robert Thomas, I'm just throwing a guy out there, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. I think it will be before the draft just because they have the draft picks for this year, and that's when they're the kind of the biggest players. I do think they will be players in free agency. They have $25 million in cap space. I don't think they're going to use it all, but if they use $18 million, that's still a lot of money. They only really have to sign Giroux and Jordan Spence, so they probably have about 10 to 15, $18 million to play with. So that they have a lot to play with, and I think they'll use most of it. So I think they're going to be big players, but if I had to guess, it'd be more in the trade market just because of the UFA class isn't the most appetizing, and I don't think anyone fits their bill outside of maybe Alex Tuch, and even then you're definitely overpaying, and I don't know if Alex Tuch wants to come to Ottawa. So I think it's the trade route, and I think it's in the next couple days.
And you think that Claude Giroux will be back for another year?
See, that one, I've heard rumblings that he might want to go to a cup contender, but also he's from Ottawa. His wife and kids are from here. I think it's probably I think the Brady Tkachuk, I wonder how that changes his perspective on it, because I think with Brady, he'd probably feel like they were closer to a cup. Without it, they're not going to win the Stanley Cup next year, or I'd be shocked, or even to be a contender. So I think it's touch and go, but if I had to guess, he probably wants to stay in Ottawa like he has for a while, but I don't think it's a certainty as well.
Alex Adams with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. You just threw the name out there, Jake DeBrusk. Obviously, he's a local guy here. Have there been a lot of rumblings about, trying to, pluck him out of Vancouver?
Yeah, there's been some reports from my colleague Bruce Garriock at Post Media about kind of the Sens being in on him. I don't think that's the way they should go unless it's very much like you give up a second round pick or a second and a third. I would not give up high quality assets for him. I think he's a good scorer, but he doesn't do a lot else kind of to impact the game. And in Travis Green's system, you have to be a pretty good 200-foot player, and that's not really been Jake DeBrusk. We'll see. If it's Jake DeBrusk and another winger that comes into the fold, I could see that making sense. So I don't think if Jake DeBrusk is the main piece that the Senators add this summer, I don't like that summer for them, and I don't think that's the right way to approach it. If he's an ancillary piece, I think it's right, but it makes sense. He's signed for long term. It's about $5.5 million. It's not a terrible contract, especially with the rising cap, and he scores goals. That's what he does well, and that's what the Senators need is more goal scorers, especially without Tkachuk.
Where are you at with Carter Yakimchuk? Really young defenseman, but is he capable of being like an everyday player next year, or does he need more seasoning, do you think?
I think he might be the biggest question mark outside of the Tkachuk stuff and what happens next with how they use those assets in Ottawa, because he had a really good end of the year, but he has some big warts in his game. He's not a great defender. He doesn't skate great, but when he has the puck and when he hits, he has an unbelievable slap shot. He probably has the best slap shot on the team immediately when he jumps on the ice at the Canadian Tire Center here in Ottawa. So the offensive skill is definitely NHL ready. He tries to mirror himself around a guy like Evan Bouchard. He's from Calgary as well. So I think it's something that if he takes off and takes another step, I think that really changes the calculus for the Sens. I think he's going to be given a chance to make the team, and if he plays really well, he'll be on the Senators on opening night. If he struggles, I think maybe a couple games in Belleville, and that's when he'll start to be okay. It's sink or swim time. Either you're that 7th overall pick that we thought had a ton of promise, or we're starting to get a bit worried about your projection.
And one last one for you, because I know you got to get rolling because Steve's going to speak to the media here shortly. What do they do for a backup goalie moving forward here?
Tell me if I'm crazy. I actually like the idea of Stuart Skinner. I look at his underlines. The Senators play a really good defensive structure in front of him, which I think is quite different from Edmonton, or at least what it was. So I think they're going to go for some goaltender with a resume. It might not be Skinner. It might be Connor Ingram. It could be of that ilk. There's not that many options out there on maybe via trade, but I do think they'll bring in a tandem type of goaltender to insulate Linus Ullmark, because Linus Ullmark's never played more than 50 games in a season. And obviously his absence last year was almost the reason why the Senators missed the play, or were so close to missing the playoffs. So I think ultimately the Senators are definitely going to bring in some established kind of tandem backup type of goaltender, and it'll be interesting to see who they go for.
Hey, Alex, thanks so much for your time. Really enjoyed this conversation. Good stuff. We'll talk to you soon. Take care and enjoy the summer, man.
Awesome. Thanks.
Alex Adams, Rogers Sportsnet, covers the Ottawa Senators. That's the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where you can check out the Black Express packages, the Ram 2500s at stalbertdodge.com. Again, in case you missed it, the Edmonton Oilers signed Connor Murphy to a 5-year, $4.1 AAV salary. The contract is full, no movement for the first 3 years. Year 4 kicks in where there's a 16-team no trade clause. So 16 teams in year number 4, a modified no trade of 16 teams. That's the same for the final year. So you would be giving up or like he's giving the team a good AAV, but you're adding another year probably to the deal, which puts him at 38 years old after the 5-year deal expires. He's 33 right now. So the first 3 years, full no movement. Year 4, it kicks in with a 16-team modified no trade clause. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. Also, Allison Lukin, Seattle Kraken analyst. Lots to talk about out in Seattle. Before that, though, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, South Edmonton, your one-stop shop for all things welding. That's awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Another potential unrestricted free agent is off the board as defenseman Connor Murphy and the Edmonton Oilers have come to terms on an extension. Ryan Rashog reporting coming in at a 5-year deal of $4.1 million per season. The deal also carrying trade protection of a full no movement clause for the first 3 seasons and then a 16-team no trade list for the final 2 years of the deal. Down in Utah, the Mammoth and head coach Andre Turigny have come to terms on an extension. Turigny was about to enter the final year of his current deal, and the team also adding recently relieved Vancouver head coach Adam Foote to the team's coaching staff. Over in the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks have their next head coach as they've pried Dusty May out of Michigan and the Wolverines basketball program that won the national championship back in April. World Cup action today, 4 games on the slate, including the first coming up at 11 o'clock between Argentina and Austria. Messi looking to build off his opening hat trick in the tournament. France plays Iraq at 3. Norway up against Senegal at 6. And the nightcap, 9 o'clock kickoff between Jordan and Algeria. In the majors today, full slate of games, including the Blue Jays back at home for the first of 3 against the Houston Astros. First pitch scheduled for just after 5 o'clock. Dylan Cease on the bump for Toronto. Hunter Brown countering for the A's. You can catch that game right here on Sports 1440, joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Gregor Show. Elsewhere, Yankees visit the Tigers. The Rays take on the Royals. Mets host the Cubbies in New York, and the Orioles take on the Angels from Southern California. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll hear today's edition of Cam and Eggs and be joined by Seattle Kraken analyst Allison Lucan. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
You want it? We got it. At Harley Davidson of Edmonton, we have a huge bike inventory just waiting for you to ride. We're not a car dealer. We're your local family bike shop. We are riders supporting riders. Come find your dream bike here at Harley Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980. Find us at hdedmonton.com.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
The perfect place to host your golf tournament or fundraiser, company event, celebration of life, wedding, birthday party, or private party. Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. More than a golf course, a fun, welcoming place with beautiful views, relaxing patios, and a team that truly appreciates each and every guest. Featuring Out of Bounds, Cattail's 5-star kitchen. Some say it's the best clubhouse dining they've ever had. Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. Book your tourney or event today at cattailcrossing.ca.
Barbecue season. Nothing like a great steak. Which reminds me, Metal Supermarkets has even created custom grill tops for rusted old barbecues. Just one of the many special requests they've received over the years. You'll be amazed what their skilled crew can do. Barbecue grills to grills for classic cars. Sky's the limit. Speaking of sky, that's a lot of smoke up there. And fire in the hole. My steak. So long, sirloin. Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Nissan's through once again, and they've done it 12 years straight.
Nissan ropes the 2026 Best Buy winner from Consumer Guide Automotive for 12 years in a row. The Score with Nissan event is on, and qualifying Nissan owners can score by leasing a 2026 Rogue S for the equivalent of $99 weekly at 0% for 36 months with $0 down. Visit Nissan.ca for details. $430 monthly. Includes $1,100 Nissan bonus and 0.4% royalty rate reduction. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Monday morning, you should.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:01 in Edmonton. Oilers roster starting to take shape yesterday, signing Jason Dickinson. This morning, Connor Murphy, 5 years at 4.1. No movement for the first 3 years. Not Fred Texan. So, Kevin, if the Oilers end up trading Nurse, what do you think of them going after Jamie Oleksiak or Logan Stanley for their third pairing? And if they need to pick up a higher-end defenseman at the trade deadline, they can. Like Logan Stanley's something that they haven't had for a while. Like, this is a big, tough defenseman, and I've always liked Logan Stanley. When he went to Buffalo, he was in and out of the lineup. Even when you think about it, into the playoffs as well, because he only played 8 games in the playoffs. He played 17 when he was traded at the deadline from Winnipeg. He's never this is a slower-footed defenseman, but he's got the wingspan of a pterodactyl. He's 6'7". I've always liked the way he's played in Winnipeg. He's a 28-year-old defenseman. Not sure if he fits into the picture here. Oleksiak, again, similar height, stature, bigger guy. I've always thought that they could use a lot more toughness on the back end. Duke, if you were picking between Logan Stanley and Oleksiak, who would you take?
Ooh, they are kind of profile out as similar type guys with the pure defender reach type thing. I think I might be a little bit more interested in Oleksiak, just based on what we've said. Like Stanley went over to Buffalo, and Buffalo's got a pretty good blue line, but he's not cracking their playoff roster. Then what are we where are we at in terms of how much he can contribute? And I get it. You'd be looking at him as a third pairing guy. Yeah. And so if all of a sudden something were to happen and you need somebody to elevate in your deep pair and play some heavier minutes, I think I would look at Oleksiak as a better candidate to do that. And I think he's a little bit of a better skater than Stanley is, and he doesn't give up anything in the size department at the same time.
Same exact 6'7", 250.
Just massive human beings. So I think I like Oleksiak's mobility a little bit more, and then also that potential to maybe play some a bigger role, or even if it's Wallman struggling or something, you want to flip flop those guys for a game or a stretch of games. Well, these things happen over the course of an entire regular season. So as a result, that's where my first choice would go of these two particular options.
Yeah, they're both big guys. I mean, they're not going to score. I mean, Oleksiak probably has a little more offensive flair, but not a whole heck of a lot. He's played 758 games compared to Stanley, who's played 278. Age difference 5 years. Are you a little more concerned about Oleksiak, Duke being 33?
This team is they're very much invested in the right here and now. I mean, we're kind of seeing that in even these two deals they give 30-plus-year-old players in Murphy and Dickinson, which I'm not saying that every player drops off a cliff as soon as they cross the 30-year-old threshold or the 33-year-old threshold. It's really not the case, because we see guys take care of their bodies better than ever and their ability to play later in their careers. So it's obviously a trade-off. But if we're talking about right here, right now, I think Oleksiak's the better player. And as a result, that's where, in my opinion, the Oilers' focus is not 3 years down the road. It's pretty much in the immediate.
But don't you think that Stanley comes in at a much lower number than Oleksiak?
That's probably true as well.
So
it's very fair. And how much is right? And I mean, it's still going to be a third pairing guy. So I mean, you're not. What are you willing to pay?
You're probably, you're paying you're paying north of $2 million.
For sure. I think for either guy.
For Stanley, you're paying north of $2 million, and I think for Oleksiak, you're probably getting closer to that 4 range, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and it does give you the flexibility because, like I said, of playing more minutes and more responsibility. Yeah, there might be nights where you're looking at what he does on the third pairing and say, is this worth $4 million a year? But a little bit of security can go a long way, because we know that the team's organizational depth at defense isn't really that much to write home about. Obviously, Boaki's in the minors. You got a couple.
I don't know if Akey's.
I don't think he's an option. We're going to see him anytime
I don't even know if he's ever going to be an NHL player.
Then you talk about it. Maybe you bring Stastny back. Obviously, Regula on the other side, man. These aren't. I get it. They're 7-8 guys, but they don't inspire a ton of confidence from what we've seen so far. If they had to step into your lineup on a night-to-night basis.
Sean says, morning, guys. Weren't there reports that Murphy was waiting for the Oilers to decide on a coach before signing? Obviously, he's okay with Babcock. Wonder how the conversation went. Well, obviously, both these guys, Dickinson and Murphy, are okay with the new head coach, and we'll see when that gets announced. Northside Sam, I would love either of them, but Stanley would be my choice. Anybody that signs here needs to have the size and grit. We lost so much size and grit in the last 2 years. It was evident against the Ducks. I'd love to bring back Evander Kane too. Babcock won't mess with Kane. Lenny says, have KK, has there been any talk around Kulak? Not a whole lot that I think that we've heard. Shane texts in, and I haven't heard this, Duke. Some rumors about Lowry or Zadorov out of Boston. I've never heard anything like that.
I haven't seen anything from that in a legitimate form. I've seen tons of, social media accounts with fan proposed trades and inner workings, and it does seem like Lowry's name seems to be coming up out of Boston if they were looking to make a little bit of a bigger play somewhere. But from legitimate sources, I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't see everything. Don't get me wrong, especially weekends like this where, frankly, I'm not wasn't on my phone and reading things very much. But no, that has not crossed my desk.
Drew texts in, so with Murphy signing and basically solidifying the Oilers' decor, what do you think the Oilers need moving forward? Big, aggressive bottom six guys or another top six forward? From Drew. Three words, Drew. Goaltending, goaltending, goaltending. So that's got to be the priority moving forward. Perplexed Oilers fans says, I'm pretty sure Bowman could have picked up Vinny Desharnais for near half Murphy money. Just as good, and younger D-man. Desharnais not as good as Connor Murphy. Perplexed. There's no comparison there. So, and you just typed it in, Duke, didn't you? Look at that. Oh, we got Cam Tate finally. Yeah. So, wasn't that something, eh? I thought maybe he was giving us the old low tide.
The low tide, the sleeping, because it's tough because he usually runs at a different time every show.
Yeah.
And so you usually text me and ask. He didn't text me yesterday and ask what time. He figured it'd be after 9 o'clock once Eddie hoofs it out of here. But then all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock and I sent him a text like, hey, you got eggs coming in? He's like, did you get it? I'm like, no, Cam, if I got it, I wouldn't have asked you if you were sending it in. But he responded very quickly, and I found it in my inbox a matter of minutes later. So.
Well, here's another edition of Cam and Eggs. This would be order number 47.
Cam and Eggs. Order 47.name game today. But not the way you might expect. This one goes a little deeper. Quick refresher. Cam and Eggs and the 2-minute warning is read by a computer-converted voice because I have the cerebral palsy. And just so you get a sense of what that means for my voice, I had the honor of being valedictorian for my grade 12 class. True story. It was the only valedictorian speech that lasted 3 days. Okay, not really, but I was valedictorian. I was. Words and disability. There is so much to unpack there. Because here's the thing about words. They carry weight, real weight. They shape how we see people, how people see themselves. Words aren't just sounds. They're statements of value. So, the name change, Eskimos, Elks. I'm coming at this from a different angle. KK, bear with me. When I was a kid, the word was crippled. That was the word, man. My wonderful mother used to tell the story of a young boy who came to our door, rang the bell, asked to see the crippled kid. I always told Mom she should have charged him $20. But that word, crippled, it defined us before we even had a chance to define ourselves. It told the world what we were before the world bothered to ask who we were. That's changed. The term now is people living with a disability. And that shift, that small, quiet shift in language, says something profound. It says the person comes first. So picture a wheelchair basketball team, and someone decides to call them the crippled cars. The disabled community said no. Not sponsors, not ticket holders, the community. The people who wake up every morning and live that reality. They said this is wrong. And the name changed. The disability dunkers. Because identity isn't something handed down from a boardroom. It belongs to the people who carry it. Which brings us right back to the Eskimos. KK, you said it perfectly earlier. Fly up north. Sit down. Ask the community. Because there is a deeper principle at work here. The people most affected by a name are the only ones with the moral authority to decide its fate. If they're hurt by it, that's the end of the conversation. If they're not, if that name is theirs, woven into who they are, then bring it back with pride. Because a name, at its best, is an act of belonging. And belonging is something no one can grant you from the outside. Back this afternoon with the GG, the Gregor guy, Cam and Egg Sports 1440.
Alex Taylor, number 47. It was good to see you on Saturday, too. Text 833-401-1440. Perplexed Oilers fan just won't let her go. He says he thinks that Vinny Desharnais is just as good as Connor Murphy. Oh, come on, PO. Not even close. Not even close. And actually, a couple guys are texting in and giving you the business. Even Brock, Jay, come on now. They're giving it to Perplexed Oiler fan for that outlandish comment. Outlandish comment. Even Daryl saying it too. Eric goes, I think Cam has nailed it today. And again, just go up and this could be all settled once and for all. And I don't think that. And we've had some texts. Stacy sent another one in about things again. Appreciate the text, Stace. I'd say, I don't know, 99% of fans say that they wish the name wouldn't have changed. And again, it's one thing. It's one thing that this organization has, that, it's been a negative thing. It's one thing. It's parking. It's the LRT. It's game presentation. It's playing poorly for many years here. But the product on the field on Saturday was damn good. You can't deny that. That was a good game to watch. It was fun. It was exciting. They still got a lot of work to do to try to get the trust of a fan base here in Edmonton. Kyle says, Desharnais just as good as Murphy. What? Daryl says, PO's on glue. Perplexed Oilers getting it from our texters today. 833-401-1440. Rolly says there was a study done. Most Inuit liked the Eskimos name, for sure. I've never heard anyone from up north saying they disliked the name. When we come back, Allison Lukin, Seattle Kraken analyst. Lots to talk about in Seattle. Bobby McCann, Mackie Samoskevich. Where are the Kraken? What are they, a team that can challenge for a playoff spot again? They were in the mix, faltered down the stretch. That's coming up right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal is only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Looking for mental health or addiction support, but not sure where to start? Contact 211. 211 Alberta can help you navigate treatment and recovery options, counseling, crisis services, and more. And because life's challenges are often connected, they can also help you find food, housing, and employment support. It's free, confidential, available 24/7, and offered in more than 240 languages by phone. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And know everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:20 in Edmonton. It's been a busy morning as far as moves for the Edmonton Oilers yesterday as well. But the Seattle Kraken quite busy as well on the weekend. And time to talk a little Kraken hockey with Allison Lucan, Seattle Kraken analyst. Good morning, Allison. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 once again. Really appreciate it.
It's always great to talk with you, my friend. Thanks for having me. It's nice to get a little shine with some other stories happening around the league. That we should pay more attention to the Kraken.
Yeah, well, it's been busy. You guys have been busy. Let's start with Bobby McCann and how the reaction to re-sign McCann after picking him up at the trade deadline. What's been the reaction for signing a guy that had a breakout year last year?
Yeah, I think it's great news for the Kraken and their fans on two fronts, right? First and foremost, you're seeing a player, as you mentioned, who came over at the trade deadline, makes an impact, is easy to play with, is part of the top six, choose to stay, right? And for younger organizations, we know that matters. Does a player signal that when the choice is in their hands, they want to be with the team? And this player said yes. And I think that he can be a big part of them trying to find more offense, which has been the big search now for a couple years. So that's great. And again, on ice, he's got that direct style of play, that speed, that skill. And again, his ease to play with his simple game, I offer as a compliment because it made it easy for him to fit in quickly, find chemistry, and made it easy for his teammates to find comfort playing with him and produce.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a local guy. He played his junior hockey just outside of Edmonton here with Bonnyville before going on to Colgate, and he found his way with the Toronto Marlies. He got that opportunity, and he hasn't looked back. what's his best? Like, who's he going to play with, do you think, moving forward here? Where's he line up and who complements him the most, do you think?
Yeah, he played on both of the top two lines as the season went on. Some chemistry with Matty Beniers. You've got Jordan Eberle in there, Chandler Stevenson in there. I'm sure we're going to talk about the other addition here in a second. So with Sam Askevich coming in too, and do the Kraken continue to make moves as they look to try and get more offensively talented? We'll see where he lines up specifically, but I think he sticks in the top six for sure and on the top power play.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Matty Beniers and Eberle are really two offensive players. And, even Shane Wright maybe can start finding his way. And there's various options and opportunities. You mentioned Mackie Samoskevich. Where does he fit in here, Allison?
Yeah, that's going to be a real wild card for me, because if you look at that right side, they've already got players there, but this is a player that I think the Kraken are looking to give more opportunity than he was seeing in Florida, right? And again, he's got that speed, he's got that skill, that rush attack, which really pushes defenses back and keeps them from getting in their structure. You see him at his best when he's attacking in that sense. He'll go net front. I think those are skills that they're going to want in that top six. So do they try him up there? I would, and we'll see where he shakes out.
Yeah. Allison Lucan with us on the Kevin Carey Show on Sports 1440. Hey, we were just discussing a player that, maybe the Oilers or other teams might be interested in a free agent in Jamie Oleksiak. Have you heard anything rumblings wise? Do they want to have him back? Would they resign him? Is he going to just see what happens on July 1? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, no official word from either side, obviously, but this is a player that I would anticipate probably hits the market to see where he goes. He couldn't hold a steady spot in the lineup down the stretch for the Kraken as they were trying to keep their fingernails in by the skin of their teeth in the playoff race. They kind of faltered down the stretch, but again, for an organization, I think Jamie Oleksiak was a big part of how they started, but they want to get younger. They want to start to open a new window with some of the younger talent doing so. And I think Jamie Oleksiak, maybe he wants to see where he can go next. And the Kraken are probably going to let him do that as well.
Yeah. Do they think that a guy like Riker Evans can, take more of a role next year?
Yeah, I think they hope so, right? I mean, 2 years ago, he comes in for his first pretty much full season, and he looks to be really improving his game, steps up with some injuries on the blue line for Seattle. This past year, maybe a little bit more up and down, but this is what we expect, right? From a player who got figured out after year one and now has to find a way to solidify his footing. Also a new coach, a little bit more defensively minded. So having to shore up those defensive details of his game when he's so powerful and can be offensively. But I think, to your point, that is a player the Kraken want to see holding down the blue line and stepping up into bigger roles and bigger minutes if they want to be the group that they think they should be.
Yeah. Allison Lucan with us in Sports 1440. Once July 1st rolls around here, management can look at a long-term deal for Vince Dunn, who is, obviously the best defenseman on the team. What are you thinking there? Is there a possibility that they could maybe shoot for a long-term extension with their number one D-man?
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting to see how this blue line shakes out. Vince has been a huge part of this group, obviously, and continues to be so. They've got him and Brandon Montour on that right side now, so they can fill both of those roles on the two power play units. If there's no movement on Vince Dunn at free agency on July 1, I'm not going to consider that a red flag, because I do think the Kraken have some bigger objectives on their to-do list, as I mentioned, getting some more offensive talent, maybe looking at continue to do trades or see what happens there. So if there's no movement right away, I'm not going to be concerned, and we'll see how their moves at this free agency opening shake out to see what this group looks like long term.
Is the team, and you mentioned trying to get younger, you always want to try to have that, that balance, but is there a worry that some of the players, we mentioned McMahon, he's 30, Jared McCann is 30, Eberle's 36. Any worry about the age of this team?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think every organization has to answer that themselves, right? Of what's the right combination. I mean, look who just won the Conn Smythe for the Carolina Hurricanes. So, but I think they want that mentorship there, and Jordan Eberle just extends at the deadline last year as a signal of that to me, and I think it is important. One of the factors that leadership and the front office pointed to when the Kraken weren't able to hold on to that playoff spot down the stretch last year was And this was not bad, but just young players learning what that time of year takes, right? And what that type of dedication and style of play needs to be. And so I think that they want the talent. And if they have the talent, like you said, of McCann, of Eberle, Vince Dunn, all these players, even an Adam Larson, if they're contributing to the level that this group needs and they can carefully and intentionally bring up the young talent that they have, I don't think they're going to shy away from a player simply because of the date on their birth certificate.
Allison Lucan with us on Sports 1440. The style of play that the team performs under Coach Lane Lambert, do you think it's going to stay the same, a little tighter, closer checking? They prefer to be in the lower scoring games, it seems. Would they ever open it up a little bit more, do you think?
Yeah, I think that they're going to stick to that style primarily. I think opening it up comes from what the roster shows the coaching staff they're capable of doing, right? This is a Lane Lambert who was previously behind the Toronto bench as an associate coach. So he's not afraid to unleash those horses if he has them. But I think he really found the perfect chemistry last season in terms of what is my style, but also what is the formula that this group of players needs to be successful. And it was right out of the gate. He was telling us exactly what you said. Expect defensive hockey, expect close games. And so I think they're going to hold on to that. But, again, you go back to the deadline last year, this was a group that signaled they wanted more offense by trying to get in the conversation for Artemi Panarin. They bring in Sam Oskevich now. They want more horses. They want more firepower. And if they can get that, I think the system will carefully and appropriately reflect letting them get going off their sticks.
Yeah, and like it's you always want to have more firepower. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to score and they want to have the offense, but it can be pretty tough. Allison Lucan with us on Sports 1440. So one of those guys, obviously is Matty Beniers. After that rookie season where he was just sensational, we've seen maybe a drop off, but is there a chance? What are the chances, and what does he got to do to get back to where he was and more of maybe a lethal weapon offensively here?
Yeah, it's interesting. I told him after the season too what a pleasure it was to watch him evolve last year. So while the points weren't necessarily back to that rookie season, this is a player who really found and solidified his ability to be smart with his feet and to be hard on his skates and therefore hard on the puck. He took real big steps forward in terms of his ability to read the play, get to where he needed to be, and then have his skill match his IQ with his physicality to execute. I don't think this is ever going to be a top center who's known for his scoring. This is a guy who said he modeled his game after Bergeron his entire career growing up. And, now he says he likes to watch Braden Point as well. But I think the offense will come. He's showing a tremendous growth in terms of the confidence he has. And again, when you saw Bobby McMahon come up last year at that deadline, he started to get going too. He has great chemistry with Jordan Eberle, obviously. So I think that we'll see him start to solidify the kind of player he is. It may not be a stat sheet purely kind of player, but I think he's going to be a much bigger and more important ingredient to getting points total on the scoreboard for the team.
What about Shane Wright? Still trying to find his way. He's played, a couple full seasons in Seattle, but what would you be looking from a guy that's still just 22 years old? What are you looking for him for next year?
Yeah, and it's been a lot of change for him, right? He bounces around the leagues because he can't go to the AHL, his draft plus 1 year. He bounces around with different coaches, even at the NHL level. And I think for him, when he is confident and playing free, that's when he's at his best. He needs to re-engage with that drive that makes him hard to play against, where he's not afraid to use his body, get to the net front areas, get to the dangerous areas, and not be afraid to shoot. He got going towards the end of 2 years prior, and that was because the coaches just hammered into his head, shoot the puck. And he started to do it, and guess what? They went in. So we need to see him, I think, really fulfill all of the talents and gifts that he has and put them to good use.
How do you think the draft shakes down on Friday? Is it best player, a need? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think this is a team that I think, like most teams will go for best player. 7th overall is maybe not as high as the Kraken hoped they'd end up, but right now I imagine they're going to draft the best player they can at that spot. And again, you saw what they just did in terms of getting Sam Oskevich. They've loaded up on some picks. So do they try and move around? Do they continue to try to be active on the trade market? I don't know that every pick this year or even next turns into a prospect, but I think they're going to be as busy as they possibly can be.
Yeah. What about on July 1? How busy do you think Jason Botterill is going to be on July 1?
Yeah, I think he's going to be trying everything. We've talked about 2 moves that just went down. We talked about trying to go for Panarin at the end of last year. This is a front office that is incentivized and motivated to win and to really get back to the playoffs. They saw how the city reacted when the team was able to do that year 2.
Yeah.
They want that for their organization, for their fans, for the city. You know, they're seeing success. Even the World Cup right now is bringing highlights to Seattle. So they want that. And I think that Jason Botterill has the green light to go out and do what he can. But as you said, the free agent market is so sparse, right? So what's going to happen? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. What about Patrick Alvin coming in as assistant GM?
Yeah, you know, I haven't had the opportunity to talk much with him yet, but everyone I've talked to has said, you know, his reputation as a talent evaluator remains strong and just a good quality person. So, you know, you look at, he has chemistry with Jason Botterill from their time in Pittsburgh. And obviously there's just a proximity in knowing what's going on with the organization in the Northwest here, as far as the U.S. is concerned, the Southwest as far as Canada is concerned. But I'm really excited to see what Patrick Alvin is all about. You know, he seemed with Rutherford, it seemed so intertwined. You weren't always sure who was doing what. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table for sure.
What's the overall feeling just with hockey and the NHL being in Seattle here, Allison, and where the direction of this team? You know, like to make the playoffs, I can't imagine how big of a deal it would be for the city.
100%. And that's what we were just talking about. That's why this front office wants to get going. This is a city that knew hockey, but maybe didn't know it at the NHL level. And, you know, you see whether or not the 2 drafts were similar. I still hold that they were not. You see what Vegas does. And so for a fan coming to the sport, they're looking at Seattle and saying, now you do the same thing, which, you know, is a much taller task. But this is a city that has embraced the sport. We have a PWHL team as well now, which has only heightened the excitement and the knowledge for the game. And so, again, this is a city that loves a winner. And so if they can get back to the playoffs, that's only going to grow the interest. We're seeing interest grow in terms of people participating and learn to skate and learn to play. And that's awesome. And now for the team to bring home more wins and hopefully postseason efforts to this city, that's when the city is really going to come alive and really dive all in. But the fans have been great. They just want to see them continue to progress.
Yeah. How's the PWHL team being received?
Yeah, I mean, again, super enthusiastic. Tons of Olympic talent was on the roster last year, so that heightened the visibility and the growth for that group. And now with expansion and seeing what a new group is going to look like, I think is going to be really exciting. But for them to play at Climate Pledge as well brings one home for hockey to Seattle. And I think that the fans on both sides have fed the fans on either side. And it's just been great to see a different way for this part of the country to come to know and love this great game.
You think the Mariners are ever going to get her going here? Yeah, they lead the division. I don't know, Alice, but they got such a good team. They just haven't been able to win games.
I know, but you know, this is how the Mariners roll. Every year they find a new way to create disappointment. So here we are.
Oh, man. Yeah. And then the Seahawks, it's a great time to be in Seattle, isn't it?
It is. And like I said, the World Cup's going on. I mean, waterfront's bustling. So, again, a great city for sports. They love their teams. And I think that's why the Kraken have been loved so far and want to just increase that commitment by bringing more and more success.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Allison, as always, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the World. Have you gone to World Cup games?
I've gone to some viewing parties. My husband has tickets, but I'm watching from a more comfortable couch seat right now.
Perfect stuff. Thanks, Allison. Take care.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Yeah, Allison Lukin, Seattle Kraken analyst. Yeah, I mean, you think about, you know, the Seattle sports scene. That's a hell of a sports town. I would imagine you think that the NBA's got to get back there. But when you look at the Seahawks and the success that they've had, and then you think about the Mariners and, you know, the great teams that they had over the years. They got a great pitching staff, and the Mariners, they're just barely hanging on to first place in what is a really weak division with the A's. And I mean, Texas is floundering, but it's something to see that Seattle baseball team, because again, you think about the talent. I mean, with Raleigh, J-Rod, man, oh man. Hey, when we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The Riverhawks return this weekend for First Responders Firework Friday. Enjoy Country Nights Mechanical Bull on Saturday with Daisy's Saloon. Then Boston Pizza presents Baseballs and Body Slams on Sunday with a real wrestling ring. Fun for the whole family. Tickets at gohawks.ca.
Boxing Day is back at the Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long. Like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day this Saturday and Sunday only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Hi, Edmonton. Fuel prices are climbing, and Subaru fights back with the all-new, all-electric 2026 Trail Seeker. With up to 444 kilometers of range, fast charging, legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, the Trail Seeker is built to help you go further. And when summer adventure calls, it's ready with towing capacity of 1,587 kilograms. Test drive the all-new Trail Seeker. Visit your local Subaru dealership today and seek every trail. Welcome to Uncommon.
Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and this is the time of the year most RV stores wish their lot was full. At the new RV stores, product is trickling in, mostly just for taking orders. But having an RV on order doesn't mean much when the weather's great for camping today.
No Bull has hundreds of quality used RVs on the lot now. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Walk into No Bull RV today, and you could be in the great outdoors next weekend. No waiting, no hoping it'll be here by summer, just the perfect used trailer, motorhome, fifth wheel, or toy hauler that you need.
And every RV at No Bull is one of a kind.
Every family is one of a kind too, Bob. Think we can't find the perfect one for you? Take a look around. At No Bull, you'll save thousands compared to the cost of a new RV. You can build your summer plan on hope, or you can know for sure. And ask about our Camp Ready service plan when you're here to make this the best summer yet.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 1041 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. So glad you're with us on a Monday morning. Hope you had a hell of a weekend. Rob texts in about the no movement clauses for Dickinson and Murphy. Do they come with the NMC? Well, for the first 2 years for Dickinson, yes. First 3 years for Murphy. After that, it opens up to 16 team. Modified no trade. So, yes, a little bit, not the whole entirety. And then he goes, do most players in the league get these kind of contracts? Seems like every contract the Oilers signed has that clause in it. Well, and we did a deeper dive on this, Duke, a little earlier in the show. The Oilers are probably right in the middle as far as no movement clauses and, security goes. If you look at, basically look at what the Carolina Hurricanes, where they're at, so that's just a situation. That's a situation where that's what you have to do, it seems, to get these guys. And again, the term is the thing here, especially for Murphy. He's at 33, so he's got a 5-year deal. Dickinson is at least 30. He'll be 35. It's the last year so of the contract where you're going to go, okay, at what point, at what stage of this guy's career, what's he going to be able to contribute? We'll see at that point. I mean, Matthias Ekholm is going to be damn near 40 when his deal's up. So there is some aging on the blue line. There's no denying that. There's no denying that for sure. I got to apologize to Travis. Apparently I said Bobby McCann, even with spec. Not McCann, obviously, but it's McMahon. It's Jared McCann and Bobby McMahon. Sometimes the old dyslexia comes into play. Kevlar says Murphy replaces Nurse easily. Well, I thought, don't you think, Kevlar, that they complemented each other? So now, basically you're going with Murphy and Wallman. Is that how you would start it off, Duke? Murphy, Wallman, Ekholm, Bouchard?
Yeah, like barring another trade, whether it be the Darnell Nurse trade and a different top four defenseman comes back, or you move on from Darnell Nurse and in a different transaction, bring in another top four guy. Like, are there any left side D-men on the UFA market, Kevin, that jump out to you as being bona fide guys
second pairing
to play there? Yeah. And specifically left side.
Yeah. I mean, only Kulak, and he can go from third pairing to second pairing.
Yeah. And then the flip side to that would be you're kind of paying Jake Wallman at a second pairing level. So it makes sense to want him to be that player, and then you find a more affordable deal to be your third pairing guy. Right. And as a result of, my question there being, no, I don't look at the market and really see anybody out there. Maybe
especially on the left, like you say,
it's pretty thin.
Like on the left, on the right, you have Rasmus Andersson and John Carlson. Those would be the top two guys left.
Yeah. And then even guys like Jacob Trouba, should he not stick in Anaheim, right? Like there's some guys that are top four caliber D-men, and sure, you could ask him to play the other side, but what are those guys going to command price point wise, especially when you talk about the top end players?
Mario Ferraro, was he left or right?
I think he is left, but plays both sides at times. And I mean, like, actually plays both sides, not just proposed to. So he's an interesting name for sure. I'm really curious to see what he fetches. And after he's been such a good soldier for San Jose, man, I have a hard time seeing them wanting to let him go right as they're kind of ready to turn this corner, because for the past couple seasons he's essentially had to be like their number one guy, which he's not. He's a fine top four player. He's not a number one defenseman when the Sharks were terrible, and now they kind of starting to come out of it. And yeah, I suppose you can go chase a better price point somewhere else, but it's not like they're hard up for money. And he's left shot, but is listed as playing both sides. So
Logan Stanley and Alexiak left.
Yeah. And like, once again, to me, those are third pairing guys.
Yeah. You know what? I was just kind of looking through the list, and the one name that jumps out at me, and I don't know what he's going to sign for or where, and maybe he's way too much of a risk for say the Oilers, and they don't need him. But Patrick Laine, Duke.
Oh yeah,
like
interesting.
It's just like
very interesting.
You have a one-shot scorer, a guy that can shoot the puck, is better than almost everyone in the league here. He's 28 years old. Basically said he was healthy, right?
That's
December, but he didn't play. What do you think he would sign for? Like, does he get the like league minimum?
No, I think someone will give him more than that. But I could see like a 1 year, $2.5-3 million deal, like a show me deal. Maybe it's even lower than that. Maybe it's 1.5, 2 million.
I mean, you think about it, Duke. Like, I mean, comes into the league, scores 36 goals, 36, 44, 30, 28. And then basically in Columbus, he was a non-factor. I shouldn't say that. He was hurt. He's been hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Montreal, he had 20 goals, got off, and they're all in the power play. Man, remember back when they were, between him and Puljujarvi at the World Juniors, Duke?
Crazy.
Those two guys were just filling the net. He had 7 goals in 7 games in 2016, 10 years ago at the World Juniors.
And then he played at the World Championships too, did he not?
I don't have that.
I thought him and Puljujarvi both, or maybe it was just the one of them. I'm misremembering, but I thought they went to the Worlds that spring as well.
They don't have
and
them.
And even further boosted both of their respective draft stocks that we ended up seeing them, of course, go 2 and 4 overall.
Yeah, they don't have them listed for World Championship that year. You know who was traded in part of the deal when he was traded to from Winnipeg to Columbus?
Who was part of the deal?
Yeah.
Was Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Yeah, and also Jack Roslovic.
Okay.
Yeah. Traded from Winnipeg with Jack Roslovic to Columbus for Pierre-Luc Dubois and a 3rd-round draft pick. Then traded from Columbus with a 2nd-round pick for Jordan Harris. Man.
Crazy.
He's right.
So it's funny when we rewind back to that original, and Dubois is all of a sudden on another team as well, but his value has actually held up a little bit better. And all of a sudden, when you think of how they shook out their Winnipeg, came out looking pretty good because look what they turned around and traded Dubois for in that whole haul they got from LA. And then LA obviously just flipped him for Kemper. And now Dubois is quietly enjoying success in Washington.
And all the texters, I'm not insinuating that the Oilers should sign Patrick Laine, nor
there's a general curiosity
anywhere. What is he going to get? Can he get back to where he's a 25, 30 goal guy? HVAC says bring back Laine and the Bison King on a line. Pretty big bodies, both of them.
Reunite them.
Yeah. Who would play center for them, Duke? Hey?
Eetu Luostarinen.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the Finns.
Hammer says, does Wallman have some value in a trade? Well, he's got no movement clause. He's not going anywhere. He plays 60 games. They need more reliable. Well, we talked about this last week. Stan Bowman is putting every egg in his basket here, saying that Jake Wallman is going to be your second pairing left-hand shot defenseman. And moving forward, he's going to be taking over the number 1 LD spot. Because, again, Mattias Ekholm getting up there. And once that transition happens, there's no denying this. Stan Bowman, because of Darnell Nurse leaving, Stan Bowman is going, Jake Wallman, you are our left pairing defenseman on the 2nd unit right now, and you're going to be moving up to the 1st pairing. That's the confidence that they have in him. That's the confidence they have. Bring Sebastian Aho. There you go, Duke, between the Bison King and Laine.
The defenseman, Sebastian Aho?
Well, weren't they aligned at the World? The Aho?
The other Aho's a D-man.
No. Yeah,
Aho, Laine, and Puljujarvi. Yeah, I think so.
They were aligned at the World Juniors?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes, Lard, a lot of people talking about Laine and Mike Babcock. There was whispers about that. Team Dean says, any noise on a Nurse trade? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Text 833-401-1440. We got World Cup soccer coming up here in 10 minutes, Duke.
Yep.
Argentina.
Yep. And Austria.
And how many goals would you say Lionel Messi scores?
1.
1?
I'll give him 1 today.
So he moves ahead of Jonathan David?
Yeah. For the Golden Boot.
Kevlar says, yes, they were aligned at the World Juniors. And the Bison King won the MVP of the World Junior Tournament. He was, those two guys, they sat up, they were in the Alex Ovechkin spot, and they were just hammering them and pumping them home. Pumping. Anything I missed on the text line here, Duke, as we get set to close out the show? Jays in action tonight.
Yes.
Dylan Cease, Hunter Brown.
Yes.
Astros in Toronto. They were rained out yesterday.
Yeah, for the finale at Wrigley.
I think going to make that game up, man.
They had a date for it.
Did they?
Yeah, it's August something. I can't remember exactly.
Man, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, some interleague play, but good bounce back by the Jays on Saturday after they got absolutely mollywopped on Friday.
Yeah, what was it?
16-3? 16-2-3 the final. 16-2. And then it was just an absolute run fest on Saturday. Okamoto with the homer, obviously.
Didn't Straw pitch on Friday night, too?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What did he get lit up for?
He actually had a clean sheet, 1 1/3 innings.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think
he fared the best of any Jays pitcher on the night? But I was thinking when he came in, and Josh and I talked about this briefly on the Triple S, like Tyler Heineman, he's normally their go-to position player to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the Angels now, so they need somebody to step into that new role.
I think once you go to a positional player, that's when you call the game.
Like, you think there should be a mercy rule?
Yeah, like when you go to a positional player to pitch, at that point, game over.
So what you're saying is that instead of going to a position player, you would just say, we want to forfeit the game.
Yeah.
It would never go. It would never.
I know it will never happen, but like the stats that come in there, Duke. Come on now. Hey?
Well, yeah, like look at Gosman. I mean, my God.
Yeah, what did he give up?
7.
9 or 7?
Gave up 7, all earned in 2 innings of work. And then every pitcher, actually I shouldn't even say, because the only other pitcher that gave up runs was the much anticipated return of Brendan Little, which did not go well. And then Straw gave up 4 hits in an inning. Inning and a third. What a workhorse.
Yeah.
And just 1 walk. No Ks though.
So you're going 1 goal for Messi?
Yeah. Because France plays as well. And so does Norway. So I might try and mix in a little Messi, Mbappe,
you better
and Haaland.
Duke, you only got a couple minutes here to put something on.
I need to stop talking so I can get onto it. I can't do it while I'm talking.
Well,
I'll make more mistakes than I already do.
Okay, how's this sound? Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rochef T-Bird,
Connor Halley, and the Duke of Delburne at 12 o'clock, the lowdown with Alan Mitchell. 2 till 6, Jason Greger drives us home with the Jason Greger Show. We got Blue Jays baseball. We'll join it in progress. First pitch is 5:07, so we'll probably get there in the 3rd or 4th inning, somewhere in there, right after the Jason Greger Show. We got Fox Sports all night long. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 bells. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage. For your next move in the Edmonton area. If you were thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the great texts. Thanks for the interaction. We could not do it without you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. We're back with you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Until then, here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers taking care of another pending UFA this morning, signing Connor Murphy to a 5-year deal that carries a cap at $4.1 million on an AAV. The deal does also come with 3 full years of a no-movement clause and 2 additional seasons of a 16-team no-trade list. Utah Mammoth and head coach Andre Turigny coming to terms on a multi-year contract extension. Turigny was headed into the final year of his current deal. Been head coach since 2021, and they're also adding former Vancouver head coach Adam Foote to the coaching staff. Over in the NBA, Masai Ujiri putting his first big fingerprint on the Dallas Mavericks organization, hiring Dusty May as their next head coach. May coming over from the Michigan Wolverines college program where he won the national championship this past April. World Cup action today. Argentina and Austria set to get underway in a matter of a few minutes. Time, France and Iraq go at it at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock kickoff between Norway and Senegal. And then the nightcap, Jordan takes on Algeria. That getting underway at 9. In the majors today, full slate of games, including the Blue Jays opening a set against the Houston Astros. Dylan Cease will take the hill for Toronto. Hunter Brown countering for Houston. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. You can catch that game right here on Sports 1440. Joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Greger Show. Elsewhere, Yankees are in Detroit. The Rays host the Royals. Cubbies visit the Mets in New York. Dodgers up against the Twins. Red Sox visit the Rockies, and the Angels host the Orioles. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.